Shit, what's this podcast called?
Discourse of Human Events.
The discourse is just crazy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look and feel years younger, baby. I wanna look.
1, 2, 3.
That's
Flashlight.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, so we're starting this off. We have Nick, as usual, and we have our guest, Brandon Carroll, host of the podcast Talk Good.
Hello.
Join
Yeah.
us today.
This is the special Shellbilly edition of the
Shellbilly.
Discourse. Because we have yet another Shellbilly.
It
Yes.
is indeed. I've tried to get away from it for so long, and you just keep fucking pulling me back
Can't
in.
escape its grip.
So you're in California, right?
Yes.
You're another Shellbilly that made it out.
Well, I mean, technically the area that I live in right now is the Shelby of California.
Jesus. No, there's no... You've got to be... Like, have you seen another person from Shelby in all of California?
No, but I've met dozens of people from Ohio, which sucks.
Yeah.
You can't
There are
get
other
away from it.
blank Billies.
Bunch
Yeah.
of Billies.
Yeah, they're like, do you know where Lima, Ohio is? Yes, unfortunately I do. Do you know where Cuyahoga Falls is?
Sadly.
Yes, of course I
I
fucking
don't
do.
want to.
I don't want to.
If you have one of those MIB zapper things and you can just erase that from me.
Yeah, no, I want
The
to.
Men in Black things?
I want to permanently live in the
Yeah.
eternal, the fucking Jim Carrey movie, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
Eternal
Mind.
Sunshine.
Oh, yeah. I got a
That's
lot of
where I
things I
wanna
want to delete.
Yes. Of course, I'll never know or understand who my family is ever again, but sometimes that's okay too.
So, we were talking about the GameStop stock.
Yeah, just go
Did I
back.
just completely kill everything? I'm sorry.
No, we're
I
good.
love my
We're
family.
good.
Yeah.
But
By the way, we basically all have ADD on this,
Yeah.
podcast. So, just get whatever you want to talk about.
Shockingly, it helps
GameStop.
podcasting, I think, to be able to jump from one subject to the other, no problem.
good Christ, that's why we end up writing an outline every time, because we're a bunch of idiots and no one stays on one topic. There's actually another idea I had for a podcast before we started doing Talk Good again, and that was eject the subject, where you're given like 5 different subjects and you're given like a couple minutes to talk about each one of them. But the other person that you're doing the podcast with has a completely different set of subjects. And so
That's
you
a good
just
idea.
keep going back and forth to your best ability on each subject, and you're trying to get the other person to talk about the other subject more.
That's kind of, I think, what this podcast actually ends up being.
Yeah, it just everyone has their own thing they want to talk about,
What?
or what I don't know. And we coined the term "knucking around." So where episodes we just eventually fucking around talking about whatever, and eventually it turns to necrophilia, which is
good.
knucking around.
Oh, knucking
knocking
around. All right.
Yeah. So
That's our
yeah.
eject of the subject. Or
And,
Yeah,
and that, again,
exactly.
is going to be either the first or second episode of Things You Shouldn't Know.
Yeah, that will be the first
one.
The first one we air. And then, so, again, we still have not talked about GameStop.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Eventually. We're working our way there.
we got to knock around first. I mean,
I know, man.
It
Yeah.
took us, 5 minutes of the podcast to get to necrophilia? We're good. We're rolling.
Yeah. I thought I would start it out. Just to let you know where you are.
Exactly.
So, Brandon, welcome to the discourse. So, necrophilia, thoughts?
Yeah, let's get started.
What are your thoughts on corpse fucking? Let's lay it out here.
Well, I'm glad I'm here to discuss this. I've actually had a few thoughts on this for the past couple of years.
And how does it relate to GameStop?
Haven't really had an outlet. You know, it's kind of the same thing that, these hedge funds, they ended up, actually wanting to bury the corpse into the ground. But the beautiful autists over at Wall Street Bets, they decided some corpses needed to get fucked. GameStop being the first one.
In some sense, so maybe not GameStop, but this happened to Hertz, I think.
Rental?
Hertz
Like
the
the
rental
car place?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so. So it was basically going completely bankrupt. I think it had even declared bankruptcy.
Okay.
But you can actually buy the stock, even though it had declared bankruptcy. So this is, again, a Wall Street Bets thing that was going on. Is that people would buy it in hopes that they found somebody to buy them, even though it seemed like a very implausible thing. So still, the stock went up a lot, even though they declared bankruptcy, which is ridiculously and stupid.
Yes.
But in a way, I think that's fucking a corpse, because Hertz was basically a corpse at that point. They were basically dead. They declared bankruptcy.
What about fucking
right?
BlackBerry? BlackBerry's the same way.
Yeah, how
Yeah, BlackBerry. Who has
know
a
that wasn't
BlackBerry
the
anymore?
stock still.
That's fucking a corpse. That's like, I swear, Wall Street Bets. They're like, yeah, BlackBerry's dead. Let's fuck it. Let's buy their stock.
That
It's
corpse,
basically-
baby, to the moon.
Yeah.
Fuck that corpse to the moon.
Here's Chloe, and we're already on necrophilia.
We did it.
It's a tie-in episode.
we're 8 minutes in.
Look,
Not
on
even.
Talk Good, we don't talk about necrophilia. On Discourse of Human Events, you do talk about necrophilia. So those two need to intertwine in some capacity.
Yeah.
Gotta wrap them together.
That's loud. Can you turn the...
All over the
So,
little
Nick,
bit.
you're saying you don't have any stock? I thought for sure you would have probably had something in it. Cause I know
Not
I
in
knew you
GameStop,
probably-
no. No, because if you follow Wall Street Bets, like I said with Hertz, they mostly lost their money.
Oh, yeah.
There's a thing called loss porn if you follow Wall Street Bets,
Yeah,
and most of the shit they pump, a lot of it, Tesla seemed to go crazy. That worked out for them. But a lot of their crazy ideas,
Shorts?
yeah, they lose a shitload of money
Yeah.
all the time, and they post their loss porn. So it's like, how do I know how to decide which one is going to actually win and which one won't?
True, because
that's why
that's what I don't
it's
think.
just entertainment.
That's what I don't think a lot of people understand about it when they started joining it.
Yeah.
Is you always see it floating around on the top page. And they're like,
Yeah.
what are those fucking idiots doing now? and but I just love watching them because they have a bunch of people in there from the other communities, like high quality gifts they'll have on there. They have people from, they actually have real brokers on there. They have fucking mathematicians. The Reddit community in general is a minefield of shit. And sometimes in that shit, though, you'll find
there's gold.
Magic mushrooms. Sometimes
mushrooms too, yeah.
Sometimes you'll find cybacillid mushrooms. And you just get these nice little flashes of light. Because I know the Tesla thing. I had not heard about the Hertz thing, though. How long ago was that? Do you know?
That had to be the beginning of the pandemic, because they were like struggling.
They were struggling.
Yeah, they were like
They were
bankrupt,
struggling, and then once the pandemic hit, it was like, it's over. There's no way. Because, like, obviously travel's down. That was one of the first, like, casualties.
What about, like,
so that must have
Enterprise
been,
and
like,
other
9
ones?
months ago.
How are they lasting?
What's that?
Like, what about Enterprise and other ones? Are they just big enough to survive? Or
Yeah,
big enough?
so it's just about your cash position, right?
Hatch your bed.
So enough, like, if you're a well-run company, you put enough cash back in case shit goes south.
Like our company.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't, yeah.
Well, yeah,
And
anyway.
to be fair,
Hertz did not.
I work at a auto insurance company, and we use Enterprise and Hertz.
Yeah.
And every time I have to set up Hertz, I am pissed off because their whole interface and everything is worse. So to me, it makes sense because Enterprise is always run better and smoother.
Yeah, they said they were a terribly managed company, is what I read, is they were just terrible.
I can see that.
And they were just like a dead man walking for the last several years. So it's just the pandemic was like, that's the final nail in the coffin.
because you can't give discounts anymore. Nobody's going out and renting a car.
Yeah, no. Especially anytime that I traveled and had to rent a car, I would go out of my fucking way. I'm like, I'll just Uber everywhere if I have to. I'm not using Hertz. Fuck this.
With Zach and I, when we went to LA, we went one of the discount ones where they have like 1.0 reviews, but we're like, fucking take a picture of everything.
They're like,
because you save so much money, but it's like, but all the stories are like how they scam you. It's like, take a picture of everything because they'll claim there are scratches,
Dude, I had like
all
70
sorts of shit.
pictures of the rental car.
Yeah.
On my phone. So I ended up buying 5 stocks in Gamestop.
Of which one?
Oh, at what
you bought
price?
5.
It was averaged out. If you average out all my stocks, it's about $250.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, it's high, but I'm okay with it.
I don't know if you're gonna make out. Maybe. Because there are a lot of end games here, end scenarios.
But Nick,
Well,
I am retarded.
so again, we're all a bunch of fucking idiots here. None of us are investment brokers. I re-downloaded the Robinhood app, and of course, the first time I go to buy any stock whatsoever, all canceled
You're like, fuck
immediately.
See, this is another thing that like has always happened. Don't use Robinhood.
Yeah,
see,
Like
I
this
didn't
has
know
been
that
going
was a
on for a
thing.
while.
found out
They
about that
stopped
a little bit too
like
late.
trading on a lot of them. Like this is not the first time they've stopped trading. Like they closed down. Like they have outages, is what they claim
so I
usually
hear about
when they
that
want to
now.
stop it.
Outages.
They're bad.
Yeah. So like you go to a real one like E-Trade or
TD Ameritrade.
TD Ameritrade. Those ones
Fidelity.
they're more legit.
They charge you a small fee, but
Yeah.
they won't fuck up.
Yeah, I've never had Robinhood. People have been talking about it, and I've been like, no, they're too fucking shady.
Yeah, so using
I
it,
never
I
knew that
understand
account.
why it became popular because it's like bare bones,
Oh yeah,
easy to understand.
bare bones.
Looks cool. It's a good looking UI.
Yeah,
But you
a
go to, like,
homeless
Ameritrade,
retard
it
can
kinda
invest in the
looks shitty,
stock
but
market
everyone-
if you download Robinhood.
What's that?
A homeless retard can invest in the stock market if they download Robinhood.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's the point. And then
Yeah, that's-
they take,
So I was like, I don't know.
little fractions of a penny off of every single trade that ends up coming through. Like Citadel is a big
that's what they actually
key player
do.
in this.
Yeah.
Is they sell your data to Citadel, which is one of the people that had a big short position,
Yeah.
right?
Which is
So
why they
that's-
think this happened.
Which is why they think Robinhood is cutting off your ability to like even buy shares.
Right.
That's fine. I moved to Ameritrade for my, I think like 2 of my stocks because of that.
You're whopping 2
My
stocks.
whole-
Do you own any other stocks, Zach? Have you ever had stock
Yeah, actually, I've had a lot.
in
You know what's
Robinhood?
really upsets me is before all this happened, I bought
Yeah.
about 30 stocks in AMC about like
No
a month
shit.
ago, and it like
You're kidding.
tripled. And I was like, "Fuck this! I'm selling this. This is fucking worthless stock." I bought it at like $2, and I'm like, $6. It'll never go beyond this. And then all this shit happened, and it's like a $20 stock now.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Did
it
you
hit
buy
20
it from
bucks.
Wall Street Bets advice?
What's that?
Did you buy it based on Wall Street Bets?
No, I just kind of look at the history of them. I
Okay.
really don't buy based on it. I might read Wall Street Bets a little more now, but no, I just usually look at their history and stuff and saw that $2 was like
I
the
don't
lowest
think that's a
they've been
good
at for a
place
while.
to get investment advice from Wall Street.
Yeah. We'll have some lost porn.
Look, there is no better place to get okay, because again, I'm a fucking idiot when it comes to any of this stuff, especially
Yeah.
like this really. Okay, so Wall Street investments in general, you need to be pushing a heavy amount of flow. To quote, a very charmed man who brings
You need a heavy flow, baby.
need a heavy.
What's going on?
Yeah, you gotta
I'm
keep
confused,
elaborating.
man.
Yeah. Sorry. No. We'll move beyond that. No, but like if you have a high amount of capital that you can invest and shuffle around a lot of different shit, then obviously you're going to be able to do a lot better at this than fucking Zach Moore buying 2 stocks of
Yeah, if you're a
GameStop
hedge
stock.
fund,
Right. But
kinda.
I am always
But-
the worst person to go to a casino with is I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw $10 into this penny slot because it's Addams Family themed. Don't give me the option to gamify the stock market, because I'll just be like, oh, I really missed my BlackBerry from back in the day. All right, 3 shares, you got it. Rolling.
I seriously am shocked they exist as a company still. I did not know that.
BlackBerry, I didn't know they were still around either.
I thought they went
make
bankrupt too.
What do they do now?
And see, I'm the other way. Unlike him, I legitimately have a finance degree, and I go to a casino, and I know they're a scam, and you'll never make money. And that's how I approach Wall Street bets. Is but I know the odds are.
Though, dude.
Gamble on.
I don't know.
Bitcoin?
No.
Oh.
I mean, you go to casino, you still spend money.
How about Bitcoin in 2013, and it was
No, I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about you go to the actual casino.
No, I spent $100. That's nothing.
See, okay, so see, there it is.
20 minutes.
That's why.
Yeah, and then I was done. I didn't spend a single another dollar.
Yeah, that's why we're not good at it.
$60,
That's why you're not good at
What's
the
that?
casino. That's
no, I would have put. So I know the odds in a slot machine, and I know they're a scam.
Yeah, I would never.
Well, yeah.
There's
Everything's
an expected
a fucking
value
scam.
Calculation. Isn't it? No, but you know,
anytime you're
mathematically,
betting
there's an
against the
expected
house,
valuation.
fuck mathematics. No way. No, that does not even come into play.
Yeah, but you can bet against the house and blackjack and actually make out.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when I gambled, it was a card game where they're taking a small percentage. So it's mostly you versus the other players.
Is that back?
You're basically paying just a fee to play, essentially.
Were you playing poker,
right?
you mean?
Yeah, Texas Hold'em.
Oh, okay.
Which
The
shitty thing
games
is,
are always...
they always have such high, the tables. You can't find a dollar table. Because I just want to play for entertainment. They're like, okay, minimum bet is $20.
Oh.
Right?
So it's in 10 minutes I lost $100. And I'm like, well... And I'm done.
I was going to say, you want to
anymore.
keep playing enough so that you get the free drinks.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. That's the whole
There you
point.
go.
But see, I am terrible at this. Anytime I invest my life, my time into anything, if it's worthwhile, and I go after it, and I really want to be invested into it, it will not do well. That's what I have discovered in my life.
You're what they call a... God, what is it? It's like an inverse investor. I want to find out what you're doing and bet against
Do the
it,
opposite.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you watch Seinfeld, The Summer of George, where he does the exact opposite of his instinct, that's what you need to do. Do you watch Seinfeld?
No, but from what you're saying, I might as well just kill myself. If
So
that's
there's
what you're saying.
George Costanza.
See,
No.
The inverse
There's
is
an
I
option
shouldn't
now.
kill myself.
George
So I'll be
Costanza.
good.
Now, hold on. I'm thinking about killing myself
Yeah.
right now, and I'm not going to
So
do it.
live life. Costanza basically figures out that he's the biggest loser in the world. So he should do the opposite of everything he does. So, there's a really pretty girl that he wants to hit on and lie to like he usually does. Tell him I'm a big millionaire and all this stuff. So instead he goes up to this hot girl and says, "Hi, I'm George. I'm broke and I live with my parents." And she's impressed with his confidence. And then he takes her home. That's the whole episode, is him doing dumb shit. And the opposite of his instincts.
So my life should end up becoming a combination of George Costanza and Jim Carrey and Yes Man.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
All right, good. Anyway, go buy stock in GameStop, but also
Well,
don't.
Don't feel too bad, Brandon. I've invested, I think, 7 years and hosting for that 7 years into this podcast. And we aren't exactly making bank over here.
We're
so-
gonna make 4 digits of subscribers eventually, Zach. 4 digits. That's the goal. If it crosses that 1,000, and I will celebrate.
Didn't we name our listeners the other day? What
Oh, did you?
Yeah. What was? Well, we named him the CIA analyst that clearly is listening.
Yeah, but that's
Right.
just the name of our listeners now. But I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was some nerdy
I
name.
don't remember.
This goes out
the name of the
to-
guy from Revenge of the Nerds.
This goes out to all of our favorite CIA analysts tonight.
Yeah.
Invest in stonks.
Yeah.
Treat
No
the
insider
fucking
trading
stock
here.
market like it's a meme.
That's the only way to do it. That's what I learned in my finance degree. The better the meme, the more the investment.
The best
To be fair,
takeaway.
Trump might have won the presidency because of memes, so maybe we should be
Yeah.
memes more.
Hey, the power of the people, power to the
I need
players.
to invest in SpongeBob. I don't invest in SpongeBob.
Oh, no.
me.
There's like, I don't know. You find the ticker that is the closest. Because I saw this is again a Wall Street Bets
Like
thing. There's something that's like,
SPBB or something.
yeah, there's one that's like NAKD, naked. And that like went up because of Wall Street Bets. Right?
That was literally their strategy, is just because it
Yes!
felt naked.
That's the dumbest shit. But yeah.
Oh God, it's the dumbest shit alive, and I love that people are getting stupider and stupider as the years go by. And
Yeah.
you just saw the entire internet either yesterday or the day before that go completely fucking insane with this new information.
When you start a company and you go public, do you choose your ticker initials?
Yeah, you basically can. So
Can you choose
ASS?
ASS? ASS?
it has to be approved by the SEC, I'm sure.
Aw, so they probably, that's
Well, I know that the longer your
Unless your abbreviation
company
is
has been
S.
around, you can do more with it. Like Ford, for example, their stock ticker is just F.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it
you
is
get
just
shorter
F?
ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then like if it's Nasdaq, you get 4 characters versus 3
I was about to say,
for
because
the.
why didn't they just choose Ford? So that's why his NASDAQ is...
And Nasdaq didn't exist when they started, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
Stock market was on paper back then.
Yeah, they were quoted in 8s.
Back in the day.
You know, that's another crazy thing. Is like this, and this went into the 90s, which is like a crazy thing.
What?
Do you know, like stocks were quoted in 1/8 of a dollar?
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was based on the. Have you heard the term a doubloon? I think
Oh,
it was
yeah.
called?
For
I know what a
pirates,
doubloon
I
is.
have.
Yeah. So that was like in Spain, right?
Yeah.
So way back when they found the America, right? They were the first to take over South America, and they got a shitload of gold, right?
Yeah.
So they printed all this money from it, and they're called doubloons or pieces of 8,
Okay.
right?
Yes,
So they're
I
like
think we have all seen the
coins.
documentary Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't watch Pirates of the Caribbean, but
Oh my
yeah, you could
God.
break the coin into 1/8 pieces, right?
Uh,
This shit lasted until the 90s. That stocks were quoted in 1/8 because Spain printed all the money, and you could break off pieces of a coin into 1/8 pieces.
Ugh.
So all the
lasted
money
to the
was
90s?
basically from this doubloon, right?
That lasted from the 90s.
Yeah, let me Google. When
Did NASDAQ help
did
get rid
they
of that?
stop quoting prices in 8s?
so are you saying the NASDAQ
2001.
they were the 90s version of
2001.
Pirates?
It wasn't just 90s, yeah.
Okay.
2001. Each dollar was cut into equal bits worth 12.5 cents.
You know what's funny about that?
That it's
Drug
fucking
dealers
stupid.
also quoted their stuff in 8s.
What's that? Who quoted their stuff in 8s?
I said drug dealers
broke
also
up.
quoted their things in 8s.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're ever
But it's
wondering
just,
what
like-
stock market and drug dealers had in common,
Pushing it on you, man. Pushing it on you in 8s.
so you could get an 8-ball of stocks back in the day.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We call that a Henry on the streets, by the way.
A Henry?
A Henry the Eighth.
Henry, because he's the 8th.
Henry the
Ah.
Eighth.
I've never heard that before. I don't know how.
Give me 3 Henrys.
Learned some new drug lingo today.
There you go. Bringing it to the show. You're very welcome.
May come in handy later.
I was
Well,
going to say,
What'd you say?
And you
Chloe?
go
I
to
didn't
a
hear you.
prostitute and you get an Anne Boleyn, which is just the head.
that's for the lady out behind the drug dealer.
Yeah.
So, hello, how are you, love? How you doing? Can I get an Anne Boleyn tonight? How much
You
for
know,
Anne Boleyn?
you say it in that English accent, and I feel like it is classier.
All right, this is how we're going to talk for the rest of the podcast, see? We're talking about Anne Boleyn. Talk about sweet Anne Boleyn.
You can't have a hooker with a British accent. That is an escort automatically.
Oh, yeah. That's
Too
upgraded
classy.
to escort.
Hello, governor.
No.
Okay, that's a hooker.
It follows Archer
No.
rules. If you murder that British hooker, British escort, she becomes a hooker.
No,
Yes.
Because you never have a dead escort. You have dead hookers.
That's Jack the Ripper territory immediately.
You automatically get hooker status
There's
if you're
sex
murdered.
Wait.
workers.
Sex workers? Oh, sex workers.
Hey.
That's even...
Oh, is that
That's
the
like the
NPC
liberal,
term?
like... Yeah, is like if you... Yeah, that's taking it to a higher level. I'm not an escort. I'm a sex worker.
Well,
You
I
gotta
think
put
that...
the people first.
Let's say
It's
Yeah.
people who do sex work.
Correct.
Oh, Jesus.
You're putting
the
it
next
into
step
like
up.
you're putting it into a collective format now, so that they can, unionize. I think
Yeah.
that may be one of the coolest possibilities of starting to call people sex workers and starting to classify them that way, is if they can group
Yeah.
together and unionize. Oh my God.
And their union
Yeah.
lead is a pimp.
Yeah.
No.
He's a person
It's
who
a bottom
does pimp
bitch.
work.
It's a bottom
person-
bitch.
Yeah.
A person who does
And
bitch
you'll
work.
never hear the phrase. I have a couple of dead person who do sex work.
No,
Who do sex
it
work.
costs too much to put into the newspaper.
Yeah.
That
They pay
one
by the
day
letter, by the way.
That one day I fucked a dead person who does sex work.
Oh my God, Jerry, you got to get over here. I killed a person who does sex work. Oh God, she's dead.
Oh God. This is
And
what
Jerry said
is
that
called
would be
knucking around, by
$8.
the way.
This is knucking around. I love
This is
knucking
knucking
Yeah,
around.
this is totally knucking around. Because we did go necrophilia.
Brought it there.
As is tradition.
This is
Of
the
this
way.
podcast.
This is the way. In comedy terms, this would be a callback.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm
good
curious
God.
to see what the stock does on Monday, though. for
Yeah, me
GameStop.
too.
I'm curious what it does, like, not just Monday. What's the end
Like
game?
the whole week, basically. Yeah, exactly.
There's no-
Like, when does it end? Like, will it go, it's not going to go to $1 million per stock,
No,
right?
of course.
Per
I don't
share.
know. I don't know. The
No,
reason I
because
say
at
I
some
don't
point,
know,
like, they'll issue new shares.
the reason I'm saying I don't know is because I literally don't know anything.
Don't know.
I don't
But-
think anyone knows, because there's
Yeah, there's no exit strategy.
It's just which one do they take?
Interesting.
Yes, very
Right?
true.
Like, GameStop can create new shares and just issue them. And they can just keep issuing them until everyone's
Yeah.
whole again.
Well, then
And
I
then
hope
the
the
stock
fucking
price is
stock
gonna
market crashes
tank.
into the ground and everyone loses their job.
And it's all because of a bunch of autists.
Yeah,
Just let it burn,
Yeah.
baby. Just let it burn. Who gives a shit at that point?
I still love though that
Enjoy
we're
the
not
weather.
even to February of 2021 and shit.
No.
is
I know,
just
and
getting
it's
crazy.
just like, holy shit.
Every-
I never would have predicted this.
Single
Like,
Wednesday has been great.
Yeah, every, like, I was going to say every 15 days, maybe every Wednesday, there's a new thing that was like, I never would have thought that would happen.
Yeah.
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 Well, let's see. You
This
get
is
the
what
insurrection at
happened-
the Capitol. You get impeachment.
It's exciting.
Joe Biden
Oh shit.
is
I forgot about
inaugurated.
the
See, that's the other thing. You forget about fucking everything that happens in the
God.
last week.
Yeah,
because
impeaching
also
a president that is no longer there, which is new.
Biden-
That's
Yeah.
never happened before in
Biden
history.
has only been in office for just slightly over a week.
So, okay,
9
what's
days.
next Wednesday? What are your predictions for next Wednesday?
That might
Let's see
be
if
when
we can
shit
nail
goes
it.
crazy. Like the stock goes super high or fucking crashes into the
No.
ground. Then
Not
Oh, I
just
am
GameStop
hoping,
related, anything.
maybe not
There'll be a
predicting,
new
but
thing.
hoping that the stock market crashes next Wednesday. That might be my prediction.
It's got to go down some point, but who knows?
I don't know if Wednesday's the downturn. That might be the upturn.
Maybe. I also feel people like I don't know. Ever since the insurrection ended up hitting the Capitol, and that's, I'm putting quotes around insurrection because there's just a bunch of fucking idiots in a group rambling through
the grandma taking selfies
Capitol
is an
building.
insurrection.
The grandma with the American flag.
I know what I'm doing.
Oh my God! Call in the National Guard! Call them all! They're gonna burn it down like in 1812, I swear!
They're gonna have to repaint the motherfucking White House. No, it's yeah. I don't know what is becoming of that. That's amazing that just got pushed out of the news cycle almost immediately. They're like, oh, hey, remember when those thousands of people beat a cop to death and like almost kidnapped Nancy Pelosi and all that? Anyway, that's just bipartisan disagreement.
Yeah, GameStop.
Oh, well.
It's part of the legacy of the Trump era, I think, is like there always has to be something more outrageous the next week.
Oh, we got
like,
obsessed with it.
Yeah,
he would say something even crazier the next week, year to keep in the news.
Right.
like you can never.
And
top
then,
that.
like, we as Americans, we want to keep it going.
Oh yeah,
it was fun.
No, now we're addicted.
So
to
that like we got to
fucking
stop
lifestyle.
GameStop next week. We got to stop it sooner.
That's our
I
problem.
feel like it's just a symptom of being on lockdowns. People were just bored and like.
that's also true.
Here's
what
my
can we do
favorite
this
part.
time?
Everybody's fucking insane now.
Yeah.
Everyone is
Oh, yeah.
fucking insane, and it's
People are-
showing. It's showing through the cracks of social media.
Yeah, just look at Zach on the video. He clearly hasn't taken a bath, showered, or cut his hair in like a month. Months.
I'm envious.
He's giving up.
I haven't
I'm
cut
envious.
my hair since like April.
I work at a place where I can't have a beard anymore, and I am so bummed. I have to permanently look like a guy who's engaged in online discourse and actualing everybody on the internet.
What do you?
I have to have a
What do you do?
goatee. That's the only facial hair I can have. I am a miner. I work in
A miner?
a mine.
You're joking.
No.
What?
I am a
Actually mine.
yeah. I'm a
In California?
yes. I'm a front loader operator, sir.
I don't know what that is.
California, a front loader? You don't know what a fucking front? What the hell? Yeah, you are.
Dude, I'm not
yeah,
into
you did
that.
graduate in finance with a financing degree, didn't you?
I'm in tech now. I'm a software engineer in California, which everybody would be like, yeah. In California,
yeah,
there
totally.
are software engineers and
Oh,
there are
dude,
actors.
you go
No one
surfing?
say they're fucking miners.
You go
No one
surfing
knows
on the
there's
weekends?
miners in California.
See, man,
Other than the
that's what you
1850s.
don't know
The
about the
1850s,
state
they
of
had
California
miners.
and Northern California.
Nick.
That's all you elites out on the coast. No, okay.
Nick, did you just
Yeah.
say people wouldn't know there's
Sorry,
miners in
a
California?
miner as in you mine an actual like metal.
There's never been
1850s.
miners in California. That's
In the
outrageous.
1850s,
Anyway,
they would know.
back
in the
in
1850s.
Our most popular football team is called the 49ers. Anyway.
Yeah. What is that from? 1849.
Yes.
1849.
The reason
which
the
is what I
state
said. The
is the
1850s
stupidest
is when they
shape.
would know that miners are in
Wait.
California.
Nick, how long did
Yeah.
it take for them to get rid of the balloons? The 1/8?
You
think the
got me
the
there.
mining just went
You got
away?
me there. I want to know about this now. You like an actual like metal you mine?
So it is metabasalt. It's a rock aggregate. So
Oh Jesus. Okay.
basically what it ends up becoming is it'll end up going from the size of what's that goofy meme that ended up happening? There's a small boulder on the highway that's the size of a medium-sized boulder. Have you guys seen that one at all? You aware? Nope.
No.
Never mind. Shouldn't have gone
This
for
is
it.
in the. I'm sorry. What did you mine again?
Metabasalt. Is
This
What
is
do
in
you
the
use for it?
metabasalt circles. That's the meme in the metabasalt circles.
I'm about to buy stock in it.
by
Yeah, can we buy stock?
yeah to the moon. No.
Sorry,
So
go on.
okay, so basically what it is it's this company that basically makes aggregate, but where I work at it's its own entire facility. So it's pit, quarry, mill, processing plant, and then a loadout facility. And basically what we're doing is we're milling down these rocks, like from the size of boulders all the way down to very, very like incredibly small pieces. And then either they'll get colored or they'll get covered in oil or they'll whatever have you. There's a bunch of different processes that are super fucking boring I won't get into. But basically it's the rock that goes on top of roofing shingles that we make and process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
And so with the
no, I never would have thought that existed in California.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's all over the
quarry.
place.
Those are things like you watch like Deadwood and they talk about the quarry or the Flintstones.
I was just going to say the Flintstones. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of the same thing. They wear hard
Wait,
hats.
which show was the one that said cocksuckers a lot?
That's Deadwood. Yeah.
Was it the
that's Deadwood.
Flintstones?
It's a living.
Yeah.
No, the it's amazing how accurate that is because I can only imagine how much back pain Fred Flintstone was in from doing that job. If being in my loader and like taking huge scoops of gravel and just moving around in that, the way how like top heavy you are, like goddamn, imagine being on the back of a brontosaurus trying to dig out rock. God.
So
They
why
need
can't
their
you
own
have
OSHA.
A beard doing that job.
Oh, you have to wear a respirator.
Oh,
So
that's
because
when you said you like could only do a goatee, I was thinking you must be in like food service or
No.
something.
Yeah,
that's what I
Mining,
thought,
I
too.
never would have guessed.
No. So basically, I think, so you know from being out here in fucking California, everything has a horrible warning sign and sticker on it that everything's going to give you cancer.
Everything gives you cancer. My vitamins give me cancer.
Well, the place where I work at might actually give me cancer.
This is legitimate.
This
cancer.
is actual real cancer.
Legit.
And also like silicosis and stuff like that. So it's like silicate rock.
I bet the respirator you wear says this is known to give you
Might
cancer in
give
the
you
state of California.
Just in the state of California. Just in the
Yeah,
state
yeah,
of
yeah.
California.
It is, and it's such a scam that they do that because, like, they can give you, like, here's radioactive material, and here's your multivitamin.
Oh,
Both
yeah.
will give you cancer.
They're not gonna.
Like, and so which do you, like, you don't know which one's better.
They're
right?
not gonna fucking do
It's the
anything
same
about
label.
it. They're just gonna tell you about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No,
That's
the
it.
thing is, like, it doesn't give you, it gives you false information, like a false equivalency. So you can't decide which one's an actual risk. Like, this has a study done by a moron in a community college that doesn't know math, and he said it might give you cancer. And this has decades of research saying, obviously, this gives you cancer, and you will probably die in 10 years. They both get the same label.
They need
they
to
both
have
get
like
the same.
a numbering system here. Like this is
Yeah,
level 1
exactly.
of possible cancer.
Well, not
This
only
is, you're
are
gonna
they
die in 3 years.
not only are they, trying to like
Levels.
mitigate some type of risk in some way, but it's really only for the benefit of the company. It's not for you. It's for like processing a lawsuit where I'm like, I ate the same hot dog every day from this company for 12 years, every single day, and my insides are rotting and falling apart. I'm going to sue the company. Well, I don't know if you saw this on this little wrapper right here, but where'd you say you're from? California? Oh, well, in the state of
he said
California,
that.
these hot dogs are known to cause horrific stomach ulcers. You shouldn't have known the risks before you started eating them.
And by the way, we put some toxic waste in there because it's cheaper than actual hot dog meat.
Hey, if that tells you anything about the state of toxic waste right now, that we didn't feel the need to put pig testicles and cow hooves inside of your hot dog, we decided to go with toxic waste. We got a really good deal on it.
Hey, wait, didn't you say you work third shift?
Yeah.
So you work like in why a third shift for mining? I was
It's a
thinking it'd be
24-hour
first shift.
It's a
Oh, it's just
24-hour
24-hour
facility.
operation.
We
Okay.
operate consistently. We have customers all up and down the West Coast and a little bit further out from there. But yeah, we're constantly loading rail
That's
cars.
really got the shingles.
Roof shingles don't sleep, Zach.
That's right. We got listed as essential workers
Oh shit!
because
Really?
we're part of the
Essential.
we're part of the
Essential
construction
roof.
industry.
Yes.
I wanted to die. I wanted to die last
What
year.
kind of
I was
BS
like,
is that?
what the fuck? We make
gotta
tiny
have their
rocks. We make tiny rocks. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
I only ended up being off last year for like 4 weeks, and that was it. And then they sent us right
Well,
back
I didn't
into
get
work.
any time off, but we just
never
went home with
stopped
our
working.
laptops.
Yeah.
We're still home with our laptops.
Same.
Yeah, you can't really work from home, being a minor.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Are you sure? You can't
Trust
Can
me.
you move the
Dude,
mine with you?
I
at
brought the
home?
rocks home.
After all of the protests and everything, they actually started stationing guards out at our facility because,
They had protests like there?
yeah, but
For what?
everybody was
You
a
bat
freaking
stone.
panicked asshole about it, and so they started stationing guards out there. Or we were there because we'd be there over the weekend too. Sometimes we're doing like 6-7 days a week right now. And so we'll have a guard stationed out there, but that's because almost every piece of equipment operates off of one single key. This isn't a secret. This isn't something that isn't well known. But yeah, every single piece of like Caterpillar equipment runs off of one key, and Komatsu as well. So they're like, I literally bought 2 of them off of Amazon for $6.50. And just gave one out to a buddy of mine at work. And
I did not know that was a thing.
well, guess what? I hope to be able to spread this out to your listener base right now.
I'm gonna buy stock and keys.
Buy the keys. I'm gonna start
always
doing the
wondered that,
fucking
though.
Matthew McConaughey thing.
It's kind of hard to steal like a giant Caterpillar like bulldozer or something. Like, how far are you gonna go before they're like,
Yeah.
well, there he is. He got like 20 feet away.
Well,
After an
you'd
hour.
be surprised.
There's a maniac driving down the one. On
my front loader,
bulldozer.
my front loader I drive is the little hot rod around there. I can get up into at least 25 miles an hour in that thing. I know that
Just speed.
doesn't sound
That would be a
fast.
hell of a police chase.
Yeah,
But this
it's
thing is
actually
like-
inconspicuous.
Oh, you got to paint it black, baby. Paint it matte black. Look, if the guy in the
Racing stripes on
killdozer,
there, you're good to go.
yeah, some
Yeah.
racing stripes makes it faster.
Yeah.
He could go Killdozer and really outfit it, and then he could go for a while in a car chase.
Killdozer, the
Yeah, you
killdozer.
can do
Yeah.
Killdozer, man.
Yeah,
Then that can be yours until you starve to death.
right. But we're not thinking to the end game here.
Besides the point
That's what
here.
we were talking about. Exit strategy for GameStop.
Full
What's
circle.
GameStop?
Oh my god, that was good.
Anyway, there is no
Nobody here
exit
buy
strategy.
AMC either. No
They
No.
wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me do it. That when everything started really going down,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I can't do GameStop anymore. I'm not that well invested in it. I'm like, my rent is coming up, and I live in California, so I'm like, I'm not that liquid. I don't have really anything. Like I said, I literally downloaded the Robinhood app that fucking day, and
Yeah.
then started pumping money back into it. But by that time, they're like, no,
Yeah.
that fucking stock's suspended. That stock's suspended. Get the fuck out of here. You
Hey, what are
fucking...
you trying to do? We've already killed that.
Yeah, we already ended up killing that off. So I actually ended up downloading Webull instead, which is,
Is that a Robin Hood competitor?
yeah,
That's one of them, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
they're actually,
A lot of people are posting that one, and then they killed it for after a while too.
but they're a little bit better. The only problem about Webull is you can't buy Dogecoin on Webull now.
Do you need to buy Dogecoin?
Oh, you need to
another
buy
one of the
Dogecoin.
ones.
Here's my thing.
Need-
I threw $100 at that because I'm an idiot. And I just wanted to see it just destroy the
price?
entire world of Ethereum. I think I bought it at 3 cents.
I think that's
Like right
about
before
right
4. So I now have 2,500 Bitcoins. But from what Dogecoins. From what I've been reading though, from a lot of other people is, okay, so did you guys initially get on this meme back in 2014 or 2015? Doge.
now. For what, Dogecoin?
Yeah,
I know
the
what it
Doge.
For a
is.
while.
It's like it was like a joke
Yeah.
Bitcoin,
Yes.
basically.
And people
And then
were
people
like
bid it up
throwing
just to like, yeah.
hundreds of thousands of these coins at people. There are guys online that are like, I have 250,000 Dogecoins sitting in an online wallet somewhere that I was high on acid when I saved it last time or set up the password, and now they can't fucking remember it. And like, I could buy my own house right now if I could remember that fucking password. Because when they were selling it, it was like hundredths, thousandths of a fraction of a penny.
Talk about it. Zach, you paid for a haircut in Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
When?
That was like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe.
Damn.
How many Bitcoins did you pay?
Shit, I can't remember, but it probably cost me about $2,000-$3,000 now.
Is this only $3,000? Are you sure? If it was a full Bitcoin, that's 30 grand.
Yeah, that's 30 grand
right
now.
It was like 0 something Bitcoins.
Okay. No, that can't be right, because I bought Bitcoin in like... When did you say? I bought it...
It was like
2015. It was... One Bitcoin... I got two for like $500.
I don't know. It was a while ago. It was about when it was around $500 because I bought my miner and it was about $500 because about the price.
Okay, I guess a haircut would be a fraction of a $500. Okay.
Yeah, it was about .0 something for a haircut. You know, it's like what, $10-$15 for a haircut.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to the really nice places. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's $10,
and it
$15.
was because they accepted, it was like downtown Columbus and they accepted Bitcoin. They had like a Bitcoin terminal there too.
Do you think there's a rich as shit barber in Columbus now?
Might be now.
Probably.
I mean, he has.
He's living at large.
He might be. He had a Bitcoin terminal where you could buy Bitcoin there, and I'm sure he gets a cut of Bitcoin having it there.
Gotta be.
See, that's the other problem I think that we've come to realize from the situation is in order to really play the stock market, and aside from having a huge amount of capital to invest aside, you also need time with all of this.
Yeah.
You can have these fucking goons throwing away $200 from, whatever grocery store they work at, their paychecks on this stock, but they don't want to sit on it for months to years at a time. And
How long can they sit on it?
Guess what? At GameStop, they'll end up getting it back up to $500, and then a bunch of people are going to cash out on it, and then it's going to dump down again.
It's kind of how long can these people afford to have GameStop stock, like just 2 or 3 shares, but a bunch of people, as opposed to these hedge funds that can throw away $2 billion every day.
Right.
Who can outlast who?
Yeah, but now, see, and that's why it's taking a coordinated effort to do that. And even after so many people have invested in this as retail investors, they still only own something like 14% of the shares. So even when these stocks, these shorts end up coming up, there's still a whole bunch of over the course of several days, there's different ones that people betted against. Like, will it get down to $9? Okay, well, no, not anymore. You got to pay that up. Oh, will it get down to $5? No, you got to pay all those up again. Some people went all the way down to like $1.89 for the shares, and they took a short on that. And whoopsie daisy. And this is just on AMC too. I can't even comprehend what it's going to be like for Melvin. For when that rolls around, because I can guarantee they ended up doing the same thing. And I'm
okay with losing money on my stock.
Me too, because that's the other thing. I'm like, I did not buy up tens of thousands of shares to get that much invested into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love watching the shit show. It's incredible.
That's what I like. I don't care what it ends at. I like it's just entertaining.
Yeah, it's so entertaining.
I hope something crazier happen next week.
Oh my God. I took last night off of work just to watch all of it. I was like, oh, this is great. I got drunk, hanging out, having a great time. Went to almost every bar I went to. I was like, have you guys heard of what's fucking happening with GameStop? Here, you're a 68-year-old guy who's really sad sitting in a bar. Let me tell you about these fucking idiots on the internet who are trying to make money off of GameStop. You know what GameStop is? The video game company? Anyway, yeah.
It's almost broke.
It's almost broke. It's almost bankrupt.
If you had invested in this almost bankrupt company that will almost certainly not exist in 10 years, you'd be a millionaire.
You'd be fucking millionaire. Anyway, you want me to throw 5 in on this dice game? Okay, let's do it, old man. I'm feeling lucky.
Well, I like how the deep fucking value guy that always posts he has the millions in it. He's been buying the GameStop stock since December of 2019 because he thought it was undervalued for a long time because they were trying to pivot and stuff, and he thought it would go up. And then all this happened, so he's already made like $13 million off of this.
Well,
but
has he?
He still has like what, 500 and some stock on there.
Oh,
and at the end of the day, he always posts what it's at now.
Yeah, he's posted up. I think he posted up 46 million.
Yeah, 46 million was the last.
And this option.
46 million sold in like cash now.
No, that's what he's holding.
That's what he's holding.
Yeah, well, okay.
Million more.
The end game. This is where it's what happens next Wednesday. Does it actually convert into 46 million? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that's the other thing is.
He will definitely make money because he's at the very beginning of this pyramid scheme.
Money isn't real.
He's already made 13 million. He already sold a lot of shares to make.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's at the beginning of the pyramid scheme because in some sense that's what this is, right?
Yeah. It's got
like
what's that guy's name? Not Ponzi. Didn't he do it in Ohio? Bernie Madoff. This is the Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff. He was in New York.
Of GameStop stock.
that was Reddit. A Ponzi scheme, though. This is a little different. Ponzi is where you pay off. Well, I guess it's got a shades of both.
I don't think so, though. Ponzi scheme usually clearly by tiers.
Ponzi schemes means you take the somebody else's invested money and you pay off the older investors with the money from new investors. So that's the scheme.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like that, and the new investors are paying off the old investors, but it's not like an investment fund where they're doing that. And it's like, and those are sort of like a pyramid scheme, and basically the initial investors make money, and the latecomers lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like in a pyramid scheme, if you're like the first guy that started the pyramid scheme, you make bank. If you're like 10 levels down, you lose everything you put in.
Peanuts.
And that's what's going to happen eventually. No matter what happens, there's no other way out that the last people in lose money. Now, the question is, who's the last people in?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That could be people next week, or it could have been people today.
Yeah. Some people think it'll be 1,000, and people will keep buying at 1,000, and then those people are going to lose it. Mm-hmm. But eventually, like, there's no way it doesn't collapse.
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited to see it.
Yeah, I want to see
ready for it.
Eyes on the prize, eyes of the world on the prize. That's just
next week is just going to be like everybody's going to be watching and waiting.
And then what I want to see is what's the craziest thing that happens after this. Like if GameStop goes to, I think it's worth $10 billion, the company now, right?
I think so, yeah.
And it's not worth a couple $100 million,
yeah,
right? In reality, like what it was before, it was worth maybe a couple $100 million.
Yeah, it was like. What was it, $20 a stock or something?
Like, I can't predict it well enough, but it's like the manufacturer of Pogs. There's probably one out there, right? It's a fad that died. It will become worth more than Tesla. That's the next thing. That's what I want to do.
There's definitely going to be something else right after this, right? Like,
it has to.
Show.
We can't.
But I don't know if it's a stock market thing or another like raid on the Capitol thing.
No, it has to either be crazy or just as crazy. We can't have anything less crazy and have the internet take it over. Unless this will be our kind of last hurrah, which is a bummer.
No, this definitely isn't the last hurrah for 2020.
I feel like there was a pandemic, okay? That's like a biological thing. There was a Capitol attack. That was a political thing. Now there's a financial thing. Now it's got to be a different thing. I'm thinking like a volcano erupts and destroys a country.
Like a nature
There's an
thing?
alien invasion.
A natural disaster.
Yeah. Natural disaster thing. But we already had the fires, so maybe I got to rule that out.
Yeah, that's how 2020 started.
Oh, God
so let me talk to you.
What could be the next thing?
About my favorite / the reason I want to get away from the West Coast is the Cascadia subduction zone.
What?
Yeah. We had a 5.0, like, what was it?
Oh,
a
earthquake?
week ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, are you guys up in Oregon or Washington, or you're in California as well?
No, we're in the Bay Area.
Oh, you're in the Bay Area. Okay, cool. All right. So, Cascadia subduction zone, for those of you uninitiated and panicking about things that don't affect you in any way. It's a 90,000 square mile plate off the coast of Washington. And essentially, this was one of the reasons for several, like the entire West Coast kind of shaking apart during the 1700s and 1800s. That's kind of the last time it ended up going off. But this is the one that kind of splinters off and affects all the other fault lines. So fuck San Andreas fault line, Yellowstone National Park. No. Forget about that shit. This is the one to worry about. If you do just want to pick different things to worry about all the time, this is my favorite one to do it. I will send you a video about it later on, Zach, if you're interested. But
yeah, post it in this. Post it in the Discord.
I'll post it in the Discord. All right, give me a second.
Yeah.
Give me one moment here. Let me bring it up. It's do you guys ever watch Geographics on YouTube?
No.
With Simon Whistler. Awesome dude. It's pretty much like a video essay. This guy kind of writes the whole thing up, and then this other guy hosts it. But they have a couple different channels. They have Geographics. They have Business Blaze, which is really good, which is just all of this insane shit that these other businesses have done. There's a couple other ones too I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh, Biographics is another one. But on Geographics, they do like a certain single spot from around the world. Like they'll do the nuclear testing facility in Britain, or another really good one was the chemical processing place in Britain. They'll do all of the more insane nuclear sites that happened in Russia.
This is shit that's going to kill you eventually, is the idea.
What's that?
Like, this is shit that's going to kill you that you should worry about?
Or just interesting shit
just
from all over the planet.
You've just named things that should scare you.
There's another one called Cannibal Island, which is one of their best ones, I think. It was this island that was set up for political prisoners during Soviet Russia era. This probably would have been back late 40s, early 50s, I think. And they specifically set up this prison island, and the state knew that people were eating people there to stay alive, and they would just keep sending people there. That's a great one.
God.
That's so good. But here, let me bring up Cascadia. Yeah, there we go. The earthquake that will destroy West Coast America. This is from about 6 months ago.
Lovely. That's why I'll pay millions of dollars for a house here, because I might die.
Yeah.
There's a very good chance.
Man, that weather's so nice, huh?
Yeah.
That's the
and
best
it's great. I was talking to one of my coworkers about this, is like, insurance is so expensive here for earthquakes. So no one buys it.
Right.
Right?
But it's always a possibility.
It goes down.
But it's California, so you know what their plan is? Sue for
anything. Just sue, because money's gonna constantly be real
the
during
government.
A horrific natural disaster.
Yeah,
that's right.
If they're renting out to people, they're gonna sue the renters. They're gonna sue and hope to God they recover some of it.
Just do it.
That's what he thought their like game plan was like somehow they're gonna recoup their investment through lawsuits. It's like
sure.
But people have so much fucking money into real estate here, and like, dude, like earthquakes are gonna tumble it all eventually, right?
At some point, it will happen.
All right, so I posted that in the general chat there.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, check that out when you get a chance. I love that channel on YouTube. I watch way too fucking much YouTube.
I thought I was sleeping too well. So.
Well, that's always my favorite thing, is especially, I'm sure you've gotten this before where, especially coming from Ohio and now living out here, you always have your jackass relatives who are like, California's going to fall off into the ocean one of these days. And they're like, and then you're like, wait.
Since this is the Bay Area, it's mostly like, I hope San Francisco gets nuked one day because, Shelby's are all very conservative. I'm like, well, I hope at least it doesn't come as far down as San Jose.
Oh my God. They're like, as long as Monterey Bay isn't touched, we'll be fine. As long as I can retire in Santa Cruz.
I'm actually not against San Francisco getting nuked. Some of it needs to go.
Some of them gotta go.
Many places needs to go.
I don't know if you know what the Tenderloin is.
Oh,
in San
baby.
Francisco. I think
It's
one of my
Are you more closer to LA?
One of my favorite places in San Francisco. I love the
Yeah, are you
Tenderloin.
in like LA area?
No.
South?
No, I'm Northern
Where are you
California.
exactly?
I'm
Okay,
about
where are you?
roughly about 3 hours east of you.
Okay.
So I'm
Oh
closer
shit,
to...
that is nothing but mining and like I thought that was all like tourist shit.
No, I'm
there
like...
are real mines there.
Yes. Yeah, so it's like foothill area. That's where they literally my next town over is where they discovered gold. John A. Sutter.
Okay.
I live
Sutter's Mill.
next to Sutter
Sutter's Mill's
Creek.
like the big I think that's where what's his face? Hearst got rich off that, right?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sutter's Mill's where George Hearst made money, and Randall William Hearst is his son, and that made Citizen Kane.
Yes.
Huh.
Well, he didn't make it.
So when
but he
I'm
was
driving to Tahoe, you see these places, and I actually thought they were just like tourism.
Yeah.
Right? Like, come and pretend to mine gold.
People live here. They still will mine gold around here. They have little sluice boxes out in the river and everything, and they'll try to find gold. And you still see, I still see little posts from people
to do it. Like when you drive by, like if you do shit to do, and it's like, nah.
It would be kind of fun to pan for gold.
It's fun, but it's like it's got to be like a summertime activity. You're just hanging out, not doing anything. Don't go out to the fucking river, dude. They have raped this entire area of any kind of natural resource to the point where they literally, my job, started digging up rock, and they're like, "Well, we can make money out of this, right? We gotta."
The only thing we know how to do here is dig
mine
things and bring them up and
That's
sell
all
them.
we know how
That's
to do.
What we know.
So
Gotta
again,
something.
there's a
when they heard Bitcoin mining was a thing, they were like, "Where do you?
Where
dig
do we
for it?
sign up?
Where do
Sign
you
up,
dig
baby."
for 'em?
Well, see, and that's the thing. The two big, I would say the three biggest industries in this area are mining, and so there's metabasalt and clay. There's a lot of clay in this area. And then also contracting. Huge. Very minimal.
Well, if there's mining, then contracting would be a big...
Well, aside from that, this is mainly like home improvement contracting out here.
Okay.
It's amazing how many
A different kind of construction.
Yeah, how many people you know are general contractors. It's amazing. Like, you'll just run into somebody at the bar and, like, you're hanging out. Also, that's the only thing to do around here is go to the bar. If you don't like alcohol or you're allergic to beer, I'm sorry. That's it. That's it. That's all. Or you can
Seems just to be America at this point.
really into drugs. That's your third option. You can get really, really into drugs. Right now, just because of the way weed is, right now, people hand that shit out. They have, like, massive mason jars. I remember still just, like, people would hand these things over to me. They're like, I grew way too much this year, dude. Here you go. And now it's cocaine. Cocaine and meth.
Mason jars of cocaine?
Fuck yeah.
They didn't grow that, did they?
Yeah, this got to be worth a lot. You don't give that away.
Yeah.
No, it's like the little mason jar that you filled up with all the ingredients to make cookies. You remember those? Yeah, it's that, but cocaine.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wait.
No, it's not like that. But people will still offer it to you the way that they used to offer weed. They're like, "Oh, here, dude. Here's a quarter. Here's a couple lines. Here's this." And
Shit.
now, especially up in this area with the way meth used to be, and people were like, dude, there were like 15, 16-year-olds that I knew that were fucking, they'll just like, "Yeah, dude, I just sell acid at school." What? What do you do?
I'm a contract worker, I admit.
Oh, my dad's a general contractor. I get this acid and meth from him, and then I hand it down over at the high school. Holy fuck. What? I think it was like right after we ended up really getting out of high school that every like drug culture really ended up taking off over there. I mean, it used to just be smoking weed and drinking, and now kids are on Klonopin and Xanax and all kinds of crazy ass shit.
Yeah, it really was kind of right after, like, a
And
little bit
heroin.
while I was in high school. It got, like, people were doing drugs, but it wasn't that heavy drugs. And then I got out of school, and it got worse and worse.
Got worse and worse and worse, yeah. To the point where, again, 16-year-old just gone, yeah, I've done several hundred tabs of acid in my life. Like, that's... I look, yeah, great, but also no, not great.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. So, again, to come back to it, the GameStop stock on Wall Street Bets, no. No, those are...
Take some acid tabs and buy more.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Exactly. So you can either be a miner, a general contractor, a drug dealer, or a retail investor. Those are your options in the foothills
GameStop
of
is going to
California.
pivot to sell acid.
Where we are in California, you're either a software engineer or you're homeless. Those are the two options.
And sometimes one and the same. Well,
no. If you're a
maybe you
software
just
engineer,
didn't
you're
make
not
the right
homeless.
decisions.
Well, yeah, you might have bought too much Ritalin. I don't know.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Or cocaine.
Some say
Or also
yeah.
cocaine. Also cocaine. For
Whatever
sure.
you get the work done. If coffee's not cutting it.
Now, Nick,
Yeah.
I know you've thought about moving out of California. Brandon, are you
fuck
thinking
yeah.
about leaving?
Fuck yes.
Yep.
Fuck
Yeah,
yes.
we both had the same answer. I said fuck yeah.
Everybody,
yes.
Oh my
everybody
God.
that I know that moved to California is like, we gotta get the fuck out.
Yeah. Well,
No,
you see the
once
writing
you
on the
made
wall.
enough money, it's time to
Yeah.
get the fuck out.
Yeah. The beaches are lovely. I like beaches. 'Cause
I
I'm
will
from
miss
Ohio,
the
and I
Pacific
never
Ocean.
Oh, it's so great to be in like an hour from the beach
Oh.
and you get to go. It's such a nice place to go. It's better than forests.
How about this?
Housing
Oh,
prices.
I don't know. I
bonkers.
really like
Yeah.
forests.
I will say this.
But to go
I'm
back-
up by the
Oh, go
redwood.
ahead.
I'm up by the redwood forest, and yeah, it's
That's nice.
it's kind of hard to pick and choose my babies on this one.
Yeah, redwoods are great also. Like, it's such a nice
That's so
walk. It's so
cool.
cool looking.
I'm close to
I
big
would
Like, you
trees.
were
always
at us
pick
with Muir
forest
Woods,
over
Zach.
beach.
Yeah.
You'd pick forest over beach?
Yeah, I'd pick forest over beach every time.
I don't know. No, there's like something about the breeze and
I
and you know
know.
what? You know
I'm
what
a
makes
beach
it for the
person.
beach though?
What?
Almost every beach will have bars and you can get drunk while you're on the beach.
Well,
Yeah,
you just
can
gotta
eat mushrooms
drive.
and go to the woods. It's a
Oh,
lot.
that's
See,
there
the
you
thing. I
go.
don't do that. So if it were a thing where there were bars where they'll mix cocktails for me in the redwoods, I might enjoy it more.
They are kind of missing that. Why is
They
that?
really
Yeah.
are missing that. They need a craft cocktail lounge in the middle
No,
of Big Trees
why
National
not?
Forest.
Yeah, did I tell you in China, like, because, I don't know, there's so few labor. Anytime you go hiking, there are people there selling you stuff. So we were, like, in the middle of fucking nowhere,
It was nice.
up a mountain, and it was just us there. We bought beer and cucumbers and some ice cream. Like, and it was, like, a real deep hike in, and they're selling this stuff. That's what we need in America, is people so poor that they think... Well, I'll go in the middle of a trail
Well-
where 10 people
Oh,
pass by
God.
and they can
To
sell
keep
them.
Is
There's
that what we
shit
need
there,
more
though.
of in America? We need more poor
But we're
people.
getting there in
vendors.
California. We're getting there.
We are getting there, but oh God.
It's about to happen.
We just I need a person
Yeah.
on my hiking trail that sells sweet Vidalia oranges by the bag
Yeah.
on my hiking trail.
Yeah. And cheap. Like, where you almost feel you're stealing from them.
You're like, how poor
You're like,
are you really?
Are
son?
you sure? Are you sure about this?
Yeah. But the thing is, you go outside the touristy areas, and there's, like, throngs of people selling you trinkets. So they gotta go somewhere where there's no competition.
Well,
That.
how about come up to Northern California?
Yeah.
We can always use that.
I'm telling you,
it's-
give Newsom another year.
No,
they'll
I
be
don't
there.
want to give Newsom another year.
Oh man, I've seen recall Newsom everywhere in
Oh, yeah.
California.
That
Up,
dude-
down north, down south.
That dude looks like he was crafted in a laboratory And they were experimenting to try to find a way to make the slimiest politician that's ever existed.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was struggling to say. Like, like slimy.
Slimy.
Like, he just oozes, like, sliminess or just...
That's our governor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a guy that, like...
A picture of him sometime, Slugger.
Yeah. You know he just sits there in the mirror taking selfies until he finds the perfect one for hours.
And his name's
and then he
fucking
posts
Gavin.
Such a narcissist.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Gavin
Newsom.
Yeah.
Good lord.
I have never agreed with ultra-conservative people more.
Yeah.
Than whenever they talk. Because where I work at, obviously... working class kind of people, they end up
politician.
Yes, like they were trying to make one in a laboratory and they're like, his name will be Gavin Newsom.
This is the guy that said you should put your mask on between taking bites at a restaurant for COVID.
This is also the jackass that's opening up everything while we have a variant
after being so dead hard against it. I don't even know. I stop even checking because I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either.
If I was reading a book and they were talking about a politician, this would be the guy.
Yeah.
If you were talking about the Manchurian candidate.
The polls are delivered to him, and then he goes full throttle on whatever the poll says.
Yeah. It's, oh, God. It's just so ridiculous. Because, like I said, where I work at, very, like, conservative-minded people, we live in the country of California. And, you know, people go out of their way to buy a fucking $400 Stetson cowboy hat. And they're like, so what do you do? I'm a real estate broker. Why do you have a cowboy hat on? Well, you know, I was raised in Valley Springs. What? Yeah, it's the equivalent. It's the fucking equivalent of Tractor Days in Shelby.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're like, oh, did you also get into FFA? No, they didn't offer that at my high school. I went to high school in Folsom, but I moved out here about 3 years ago. Been really taken to the life. My pickup truck is worth about $65,000. It's like, oh, so okay, all right, well, so you're a different kind of hick then. Okay, you chose this life. You weren't born into it. You aren't the bane of country people. But
I always find that very odd. The people that are like, it's all about the people, and they're living in like $300,000 homes, and they wear their cowboy hat, but they're clearly like rich as can be. Like, you're not a cowboy. What are you doing?
Every time somebody at work, like, and we do actually make good money, but not good money because we live in California. Like, I'm almost at about $30 an hour where I'm at, which would be great money.
That'd be great.
Literally anywhere else in the country, except here. Even living in California. A small area, like in the Bay Area.
I was just thinking $30 an hour. How do you just survive?
Well,
do you suck cock on the side?
Well, this is not a
he's a person that does sex work on the side.
Sir.
Yeah, you better start.
Sir. No, I was going to say, I'm like, well, not only did I come on to promote Talk Good, I also came on to promote my OnlyFans. So if you guys want to check that out, we're doing 30% of it.
That's about right.
I thought you were going to say I'm also here to promote me sucking good.
By the way, I'll suck you off really well.
By the way, you'll find my phone number on bathroom stalls throughout California.
Sir, that's called networking. How dare you? How dare you? No.
How dare you disparage that?
It's just so great. That's one of the other reasons I've been really thinking about leaving, because I'm like, I've had so many opportunities and so many jobs out here to get trained on so many different things that I could take those skills elsewhere and make money and actually be able to live.
Where do you want to go?
I'd either like to start back out with, either back in Shelby. Honestly, start there.
Shelby, or you mean Ohio?
Oh,
there's nothing in Shelby.
I want to go all the way back to Ohio, but I'm also saving up enough money right now where that I can like at least subsist off of that for a couple weeks. But for the next couple months here, I'll be looking up jobs out there primarily. I want to get into the environmental sector, out there.
Mm.
And I just have so much different
Shelby,
weird
you should
skills.
come to Columbus at least.
But
Yeah,
that's my
dude,
next
don't.
thing. So my sister lives down in
Unless
Columbus
you have a
as
lot
well.
of meth you want to unload, you should go somewhere else.
That explains
Well-
it. He's saving up all the coke people have been giving him.
Yeah.
You know, they gave me a bunch of mason jars filled with cocaine. I should be fine for a little bit.
Anyways, you're saying after Shelby, you were going to Columbus?
But after Shelby, yeah, I'd want to come down to Columbus. My sister lives down there right now. I figured that would be like a good jumping off point to at least have a base of operations and kind of extend myself out from there. Because where I'm living at right now, I just have my own bedroom. That's it for what I'm paying out here. I have a roommate, dude. I'm almost 35. Like, what the fuck is happening? I'm like,
That's normal even here.
and that's very normal. That's a very normal thing.
Yeah.
And thank God, my roommate and I, we like each other very much. She has a little boy. Like, it's a great living situation. It just sucks being at this point where you're like, I should have my own place by now, don't you think? No. Because if you do, I hope you love ramen. That's what sucks about it.
Yep.
Because even when I did live down in LA for a little bit, and I was
LA's crazy.
LA's insane. LA, and I was living in bad areas, and I still had to pay something like $1,600 a month for my house that I was living in.
Chloe did an Airbnb when she was working for
I got a bedroom.
I can't say the company you worked for, but
Right.
in Burbank. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and what did you pay for that?
$1,500
For $1,500
For
for
a
a
bedroom.
one room with this crazy old lady.
She's fine.
She did
She's
way
fine.
too many drugs in her youth. She did too many drugs in her youth. You could talk to her for 2 minutes, and I had no clue what she was talking. She was a raving lunatic.
Oh, good
When you
people.
say one room, it was
Sometimes
literally
you don't
one
have
Yeah.
to maintain conversation.
I was just
share a
like,
room?
I don't know what to say to you because your brain is fried. Yeah, just one room, and she
Which
had
is
a
nice.
15-year-old dog.
Well, the dog is
and
almost dead, though.
my God.
This lady is nuts, and it was $1,500, and I hadn't been in California yet, so I was in there and like, this is nuts. And then you move to the Bay, and you're like, that was a good deal. That actually wasn't that bad.
Christ, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here, $1,600, pretty nice.
You could buy something close to that. Or you could at least put a down payment starting on something.
You don't know
House is
how
only
much
like $1,200, maybe.
I know.
how much
And that's with
Chloe
pets.
looks through Zillow and is like, look at the mansion we could have, Nick, in Columbus.
But the problem, well, now you at least have the skills to move forward and like try to find something out there in that same kind of range that you're doing. Will you be paid the same?
No.
No,
Yeah.
never.
That's why we're
See, that's
we're
the
actually
problem.
thinking Texas. That's what I was asking. Like, where
Texas?
you're going? Where
Texas would
Yeah,
be
we're
too bad.
because that's where tech still is. Everyone's going to Austin is the big new thing,
Older.
and we're like, are we? Yeah, Boulder is the other one where tech companies are escaping, and we're like, should we go? Is the Bay going to be dead in 5 years? Like you were saying, like California, like everyone sees the writing on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like
People are
there's no
pushing
way
it
it can
and thinking
sustain.
shit.
You gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I think that should be the that should be the motto of the state right now. California, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Time to flee.
My whole
State
thing.
logo, you
Hey, that's the state motto right there. I
Yeah.
just want to get out of here again, and I know how you guys were. You in the Bay Area last year? How long have you lived there?
Yeah, we've been here
Yeah.
for 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
Okay, so you guys lived in your own little Blade Runner cosplay as a city last year, right? During the fires.
We were in Milpitas, which is not that we were.
We saw some smoke. but
Yeah,
nothing
other
around
than
us
barely
is
being able to breathe, and the sky being like a weird color.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, like we
Laser
weren't
on
near
there.
the fire, but back to where the original conversation started was the Tenderloin, which is one of the things where like we would go to San Francisco, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, we were going from one tourist attraction to another when we first moved here.
Okay.
And we just look at
and we
Google
walk
Map.
through the Tenderloin.
Oh yeah.
And like, I've never been frightened for my life before, other than maybe when Vegas with you, Zach.
You were
when we-
walking. You were walking in the Tenderloin.
Yeah, because we didn't know the area, so we were trying to walk from, I think, maybe Lombard Street to Golden Gate Park.
Okay.
We're definitely out of.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And we went through the Tenderloin, and then you just see tense and sketchy fucking people doing heroin, and then, like, I swear to
Crazy
God,
guys shouting at the air.
like, and then, like, there was the dude that was definitely, he had so much acid, like, a Grateful Dead fan is what I would call him, because he came up to us, he had a staff. Who has a staff? And like one of those hippie shirts, and he talked to me like, "Hey, you're a beautiful couple, man." And like, I had to shake his hand because I don't know,
Because what do you do?
Yeah, he said something like that. Like he just like,
Who knows
yeah,
what happens if you
okay,
deny
how do
the
I
handshake?
escape?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
it's just like we are so out of the element. We obviously did not belong in this area. Like I was saying with you, Zach, when we rented that Airbnb in Vegas, and we were the only. We stood out. Let's put it that way.
Sketchy as fuck. I thought for sure we would get mugged eventually.
Yeah. But this was like a
Uber and
30-minute
Lyft driver
walk.
dropped us off and like, you guys are staying here?
They're like, "Are you sure?"
I take it you guys
look
were in
you're gonna
North
get
Vegas.
That looks like a place
We
you
were-
get $5 blowjobs.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were just close.
Where was this at again?
It was a walking distance to the Strip.
Really?
That's why we
So you weren't
took
in North
it.
Vegas at all? That's
I
usually
don't know.
the sketchy part
It's
of
sketchy.
Vegas.
It might have been north. It was not that far from the main part. That's just why we got it. But it was the sketchiest thing that I like. It didn't compare. I think the Tenderloin was worse though, Zach. That's how bad the Tenderloin is.
I told you I
is
walked
like
to the Strip from there, and there was like a dude literally passed out on his like bicycle, like with 40 in hand, like as if he was literally drinking and just passed out.
Imagine. So the Tenderloin is that, but you see tons of them.
Yeah. We drove
Like
by.
so much shit, human shit on the street. And then where I was going is where you see the writing on the wall is we haven't been back to San Francisco in a year and a half. Definitely not since the pandemic. But before we were going, the Tenderloin spread. And I know it's gotten worse since this pandemic. We went to a very nice restaurant. Like, very, very nice. But there's human shit outside. Outside the super high-end restaurant. And it's like, I can't even eat.
Now, how about this?
Like,
So
what's wrong?
I went to San Francisco, let's see, last February. February for Valentine's.
Okay, that was
weekend.
before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic.
Really
before the
broke out.
pandemic.
Before shutdown.
And I have a great fucking time every time I'm in San Francisco. It is my kind of dirty. It's when I lived in LA, the horrific urban sprawl that is the county, the metropolis of Los Angeles. I almost fell to my knees and cried looking at San Francisco. I'm like, oh my God, look at it. It's a city. It's a real city. It's just a city. It's not just like a bunch of skyscrapers. And then a rush of buildings everywhere sprawled out for hundreds of square miles.
Every time I go to LA, it's shocking how big that fucking place is.
Stupid.
It never ends.
And it's
never ends.
It's like a 3-hour drive from there to what's the San Bernardino?
Yeah.
From like the Costa Bernardino.
Yeah.
Like you could go for hours.
Yeah, and even
It's
trying to
fucking
tell
nuts.
people you're like, oh, I'm over in Harbor City. They're like, where's that? Well, if you take the 405 down to blah blah blah, it's only about
so we'll never see you again.
45 minutes away from city center, and oh God, it's literally like. Have you guys played Cyberpunk? Yep. I know,
No, but I know what it is.
Okay, have you seen some of the videos from it at all? Of just how huge and ridiculous it is.
I saw Conan O'Brien play it.
Okay. Everybody's favorite lesbian aunt, Conan O'Brien.
Yes. Pretty much.
No, it's a ridiculous It's a ridiculous fucking game, and I love it. It's so stupid. I love it. But it's like that kind of sprawl. It's huge in some points, and then it's just spread out so crazy. Or like no one planned the city out at all.
And
It just
like
happened.
East LA, they planned out specifically to fuck over Mexican and black people, but that's it. That's the only development.
That's the one plan they had.
Yeah, that was the one
Yeah,
plan they
that's
had.
what I'm thinking.
And then they're like, all right, everything else is for rich white people. But other than that, we're not going to put any planning into this at all. Because I lived in Harbor City and I lived in Torrance, which is closer to like Hermosa and Manhattan Beach. Down in that area. Closer
bad.
like
Hermosa? I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, like
That's bad?
so Torrance was great. But I lived in a townhouse at that point, and that was like $18.90 a month for a 2-bedroom townhouse.
Jeez, so Pete.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's when I was doing. I was working for a Japanese-based business, a pharmacy.
What do they do?
Pharmacy automation equipment.
Okay, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, literally.
Like they automatically count the pills or some shit?
Yeah, basically
Or what?
it was a bunch of different machines. It went all the way from medical scales to pill counters to these massive machines that will like actually package up the medication for you. Software development
of the machine.
Yes, they were the manufacturers of the machine, and then we were a little like satellite-based business for the U.S. And my entire job was trying to set up distributorships throughout the U.S., Canada, and then eventually we ended up going to Mexico. But so we almost got it. We almost got everything done, and then literally a year later, our home company completely restructured itself from the top down, and then they're like, "Hey, why the fuck are we hemorrhaging so much money over in the U.S.? Let's go ahead and shut that shit down." And so yeah, but during that whole year was fucking great. That was so fun. I was living in Torrance, hanging out in Los Angeles, jet setting off everywhere. Didn't have to worry about money. And now I work in a mine where I'm scared for my life every day. It's super cool. It's great.
See, I actually like the setup of like Columbus style city because I don't actually go downtown almost ever.
Yes.
Like, I don't like the downtown
Yeah.
setting of Columbus or downtown
High Street?
anywhere.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, but like High Street's such a like long road. Like when you get deep into the heart of the actual Columbus, it's kind of annoying. Like you have to deal with those big city traffic and all that BS.
And there's nothing to be there for.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's like
I
if
worked
you-
at
If
one of
you
the places,
are,
it
it's
was
like
boring
you're going
as shit.
to like a game or a concert or something. There's a specific thing you're going to, and it's annoying, but you're just
Sacramento.
dealing with it that day.
Sacramento is the same way. Sacramento is the Columbus of California. It is the exact same fucking thing. There's like, I feel like people went out of their way to make the capital city the most boring big city in the state. They're like, all right, well, what's the place you think about every time you go to Ohio? Oh man, I love Cleveland. You got to go down to the flats. Just has a great atmosphere, crazy people.
yeah.
What's the capital of your state? Columbus.
What do they do there?
I don't really know.
They sort of exist.
I don't really know. Oh, so
But it's
I'm
clean
out here in
and it's okay.
California. We have awesome, crazy places. Los Angeles is so insane. It's just anything that you want to do, you can do it there. You can go up to Pasadena. San Diego's great. It's like right on the border with Mexico. You can also go to the Bay Area. Just live right on the coast. It's so crazy. What's the capital of your state? Sacramento? What's going on
What
there?
do they do?
They have a tree from every single state in the capital. How much does that cost the taxpayers every year? I don't know, something like $10 million. Why? I don't know, because we love throwing money
kinda
away
cool.
in this state. That's what we do.
We got a lot of taxes. How do we piss it away?
Yeah, why don't we
Got
just
an
piss it
idea.
away? We literally have 1 out of every 10 person in the U.S. lives in California. What do we do with that money? I don't know. Let's just give it all to the people who already have the money. Why?
Yeah. It's not going to the people that are living on tents. Tents, I'll tell you that.
No. Don't do that. Anyway, shut down all the hotels.
NGOs.
Don't let them inside. But also open them back up. Oh, God.
So what's going to happen, though, if too many people flee California and the Tenderloin is basically a whole city?
Oh, it'll be crazy. Because they have, like, the government workers have such crazy pensions and such crazy salaries. There's no way they're going to, like, so it'll cascade. It'll be, in some sense, exactly what's going to happen to GameStop or any other pyramid scheme. It'll just collapse. It all collapses in the end. It has to.
Can you imagine?
There's no other.
LA collapsing as a city?
It has to, like with
Sir,
Rogan leaving.
I think
everybody else.
I think Kurt Russell has already made this documentary, Escape from LA.
That's exactly right.
Where he got to. Who did he end up surfing with in that movie?
Oh shit! I don't remember that. I do think you're right. He surfed.
Yeah, one of the greatest.
I haven't seen this since the '90s. Okay. I remember he shut down the electric grid somehow through a button or some dumb shit.
Yes. Oh, it's Henry Fonda. Henry Fonda is who he ends up surfing with.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's the way I'd want the state to go out, is Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Surfing.
And he's dressed as Snake Plissken, by the way. He's not just Kurt
yeah,
Russell.
No.
Yeah.
He has to be dressed as Snake Plissken. That's the only way the state can go down.
I think we started this, Nick, with you said, like, first there's, like, the social movement, then there's the political thing, and now there's the financial thing. Maybe we're just in a cycle.
The next thing is Kurt Russell surfing.
No.
That's the next big thing.
I was going to say maybe we're in a cycle, and so the next thing will be another large social thing.
Then what is it? Like a political thing?
Well, no. So next would be social, right?
You mean like a pandemic? Or you mean Black Lives Matter? I skipped that.
Okay.
Okay, what would be the next one?
That's a good question. What would be a big social movement right now?
It's got to be crazier than Black
It's got to
Lives
be more
Matter.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think
I got it.
would
Rich
be...
people's lives matter.
What people's lives?
Rich people start losing money because of this financial scenario.
I can just imagine. Matter. It's great. Like, the Koch brothers go and, like, pick up chairs and start throwing them into buildings. Mitch McConnell's going to start kicking chairs down and be like, fuck this place. Flips a double bird. Spit on a poor person.
It'll be the Brooks Brothers riot, but, like, on a national level.
Yeah. I'd love it.
Oh. I think it might personally be... So this is kind of how I saw it happen last year. Do you remember when all of the like crazy like MAGA idiots or like fucking licking doorknobs at their state capitol, like begging people to go back to work and like making all this like
there was a person
causing
on an
ruckus
airplane
for the
that literally
stupidest
licked
fucking
a
reason.
Airplane toilet seat.
Meanwhile, they should have been like, "Hey, pay us better benefits. Hey, use our fucking tax dollars for a change to actually benefit us instead of all this other bullshit. Why can't you help other people out?" No, they just wanted people to be able to give them a haircut again and basically say that COVID isn't real. Anyway, we're up to 500,000 people now. That's super cool. I think it might end up flowing the way it did again, because right after that was the BLM protests with George Floyd and everything. And that got a little bit better traction because, you know, it was for a better fucking idea. I think that maybe the next set of social movements might be, you know, they had the Capitol storming for the stupidest fucking reason I could possibly imagine to keep that incompetent wretch in office. Like, that was the whole reason. That was the whole reason they were there. That was the whole reason they ended up doing it. Why wouldn't you want to fight for, like, I don't know, better pay?
People actually having a social movement to get actual money and
or not just that, or like
But the
better
point is, these
representation of the
things are starting to prevent people from ever doing anything like
better
that.
understanding of class structure in this country, of like how people are actually being affected by shutting down all of these jobs, and the entire country shutting down, and like, oh, here's $1,200. Where'd you come up with that amount from? Well, we took our shitty minimum wage that we had and we ran it through and multiplied that by 160 hours for a full month. Anyway, that's what you guys get. Hey, why is our federal minimum wage so shitty? Why hasn't it raised up in like 10 years? Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Hey, maybe we should do that. Maybe all those people that you told were essential workers and told them that they were all heroes and everything, that just means that you can sacrifice them a lot easier when you call them heroes like that. We should probably pay them a little bit better. Why? Why is that a question?
I see essential workers finally reaching the boiling point, because first off, just dealing with the public in general right now sucks. So not having the pay or the benefits, I could see where there's just like a massive walkout of like essential workers.
That is what I'd love to see. I'd love to see a general strike in this country. And I think it is highly beneficial and necessary to actually develop some type of change. Yeah. Obama did not end up passing and legalizing gay marriage. That was through progressive efforts, through activists. The Obama administration wanted nothing to do with that because they were all about this bullshit incremental change. And now you have the Biden administration in there again. It's the same fucking thing. Yeah, $15 an hour by 2025. Why can't you do that right now? Okay, all right. And by the way, it should already be at 22. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck 15.
No, so none of this is going to happen.
Far behind.
Yeah.
I think here's my guess. The next stimulus, they're going to figure out that it's eventually just going to go to the rich anyway. So they're just going to print, what is it, 1.9 trillion?
Something like that, yeah.
I think was something like that. They're just going to give it directly to Bezos or Musk. It's going to be like, fuck it. It'll end up there anyways. Here it is. Straight
just take
fucking
it,
cash,
please.
Bezos. Here's a 1.9 trillion.
They're going to use it on Amazon anyways. Here, just take it.
Yeah, they're going to buy Amazon anyway.
It's going to go the whole other direction.
No, that's going to be so funny. They're like, hey, we got all this money, and we're not really good at running all this stuff anyway. Can you just take care of it for us? And Jeff Bezos is either like, okay, well, everybody works for Amazon, and Elon Musk is like, all poor people to the moon. That's what he's going to do.
I was thinking instead Bezos is going to dump the girl he cheated on his wife with for another girl. And make another billionaire out of that lady.
Oh yeah,
or a trillionaire.
Actually, you know
but
what?
He'll still be richer than her by a lot.
That's actually how we end up stimulating the economy. Is everybody gets a shot at
Bezos'
marrying Jeff
divorce.
Bezos?
Yeah, that's perfect. We're a divorced Bezos economy.
We all need to divorce him. A divorce-based economy.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, it'll completely restructure. Everybody's a polygamist. Then at that point, that's our next era.
Mormons,
that's our next social
time.
movement. That's our next movement is a sexual revolution. Because we've been with Jeff Bezos for one point in period in time where we and everybody has to have sex with him. Every single person.
Look, Bezos, you fucked up enough. It's time we get to fuck you, okay?
We'll trade back.
This sounds absolutely ridiculous.
If it's his birthday, let's not be ridiculous here. If it's his birthday, I'm a switch hitter. We'll hit it off. If he wants to give a little bit back to me, that's fine too. He definitely looks like he'd be a bottom for sure, but I'll let him be a top for his birthday. It's fine.
If that's what he wants,
you get more in the settlement that way.
Exactly. That's what I'll tell my. That's what I'll tell my attorney.
In the divorce contract.
So I was gonna say, this all sounds crazy, but so did GameStop go into 400 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? It might happen. I'm not saying it won't.
Sky's the fucking limit, baby. That's why I think
knows?
Last year I felt so ill prepared and so down and depressed all the time. I think there really reached a turning point last year when I was just like, fuck this. Everything's stupid anyway. And I think 2021 is the revolution of that thought. Everything's fucking insane now. Just ride it out, man. Just ride it out as long as you can and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Because last year was
see
just
a massive strike happening though.
I would love to see a general strike. I love seeing people out in the streets.
What do you think the guillotines are coming out?
Just a massive fuck working for the man strike.
But how do you coordinate that? The only reason that you ended up seeing, from like the 1890s up until the 1920s, you really ended up seeing this huge revolution in socialism, anarchy, communism, but really more for working class solidarity, especially with mine workers. Coming together and being like, holy shit, these conditions are fucking awful that we're working in. We really need to come together and fight against the company that we're working for. And in some places, they really did literally fight these people with guns, cannons, dynamite, anything they could in order to give us a 40-hour work week, a 5-day work week, holidays, time off in between.
It might take something like that.
That worked because all of those workers lived in the same area and worked at the same place. How do you organize something like that?
We do. Autists.
Wall Street bets. That's right. That's what this whole episode is about. We're bringing it back. We're going to take these capitalist retards and pump them in and make them start understanding working class solidarity and get everybody to go on general strike.
But what would hurt billionaires more financially is everybody just stopped working.
Oh yeah. Oh, that.
Like, how long would it take to affect billionaires if like a massive amount of workers just literally stopped?
We're a paycheck to paycheck economy.
I know that's why people aren't doing it, right?
Right.
That's the hardest part.
Well, it goes all the way up. It goes from workers all the way up to the fucking government. If you stop paying your taxes or you stop doing anything, millions of people stop doing that, then yeah, that'd be a great way to hit it back at the man. But
all right,
we're so apathetic.
Strikes.
Anyway,
maybe
so
we could
general
be the
strike.
Autists.
Yes, we will be the onus of the general strike. We're getting some praxis in here on the show.
We could be the deep fucking value of striking.
I would say I'd rather be like the Mother Jones or the Eugene Deb of that rather than deep fucking value. But yeah, I'll go with that.
We could just be like, we're just a bunch of retards that don't want to work.
I do. How about this? This is what I actually want to have come back. I want to make sure it's okay to say retards again.
I'm with that.
I want. That's
it's retarded that you can't say retard.
I know. Because now it's gone away from like you're actually insulting mentally handicapped people to the point where because it's
person with a mental handicap.
Let's start a revolution over this. I want a retard revolution. Like I'm ready to bring out the guillotine over retard. Like I don't care about the working class money. I just want to say retard again. Like I'll cut heads off for this.
Retard revolution.
Oh my god!
I want this in the history books too. I want historians giving lectures on the retard revolution.
Oh my god! And it's such an advanced portion of it because you have to get through all of 2016 up to 2020, and then finally January. Let's say March of 2021 hits, and it's us out in the streets, flames, smoke rising up against the ashes. And everybody's just shouting, retard, 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 retard.
I can just imagine the media coming and interviewing people. And why are you doing this? Why are you burning down your entire city and all your community? I want to say retard again.
We just want to say retard
again. Retard.
So I was actually thinking about this with the whole GameStop situation. If like they were considering it market manipulation and some people had to go to court, like the moderators. And they had to read, like, depositions and stuff. And, like, look, he said multiple times, I am a retard. I just like the stock.
I just like the stock.
Like, you can't say that's market manipulation.
I do want to hear, like, the transcripts of things they posted. My wife's boyfriend, after he got done fucking her, said, I like GameStop, so that's why I bought the stock. Enter that into the record.
Put it in the record.
There was something I ended up almost posting to Twitter the other day, kind of going along with that. Not with the retard revolution, but
You really weren't talking about that?
sadly no, but I will from now on.
We need to get it started somehow.
Yeah, I know. We need to
on.
get on the bandwagon. But I basically said I didn't end up posting it because I wanted to restructure it. But in the past year, if you have learned anything about the state of the world and our country and how it works, then I hope you're as giddy as me and you're just excited to figure out how much you didn't know. And that's what I would say that I look forward to the most in this coming year is every single fucking week / every other month in the Trump administration presidency, you learn something new that you really never took the time to learn before. I wouldn't know as much about politics without the Trump administration. I wouldn't know as much about...
I started literally reading the Constitution, trying to figure out, like, what are they doing?
Like,
Can they do that?
Why
is
is
that
this...
a thing?
Wait.
I literally brought up the Constitution and was reading, like,
the
how
Emoluments
the
Clause?
College works. Yeah, no, the Electoral College.
Oh, yeah.
And then I predicted, I didn't say, on this podcast, I didn't say people would be asking Pence to not count the votes. My prediction, based on reading it, was he would pull out a suitcase and have fake votes.
Just read
Before
those.
it became a thing, asking Pence not to... Because I read the Constitution, it was like, so Pence reads the votes.
Yeah, I remember you predicting that on here.
Yeah. I was at least close on one prediction.
Also, like, I knew that short-selling stocks existed before here, but I had no idea, like, how it actually worked. And now I have an actual good idea of how short-selling stocks works.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a complete understanding of how it works, but the things that I also don't understand with that, I don't really understand puts. And it really does put things better into perspective the way that you understand gambling and a casino. You really do understand, well, you're basically betting against the market, or you're betting against the stock to drop, or you're betting against it to rise up, whatever. That kind of shit.
Or you're waiting for something to hit this price, then you want to sell, or you're waiting for it to hit this price, and then it'll automatically buy for you. Like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do all this stuff.
Exactly. And yeah, that's what's so funny about it now is like every couple weeks now, you're like, oh my God, I'm a fucking idiot. Why didn't I know this whole time?
I think Gen Z, they might actually be a great generation because of this, because they're like at an age to where they're learning this stuff through social media. Like they're learning stuff we never would have read before this.
Well, I feel they were already going to be like the kids are all right, man. That's what I feel all the time with these guys is millennials, where we're at right now, we've always been a transitional generation. You know, we're coming from the era of horrifically spoiled people, the boomers, and we're their children. And now this next generation, they're still going to be insanely fucked with, you know, constantly looking over their shoulder going, oh, the rest of the earth is on fire. Anyway, thank God that I invested in GameStop stock when I did.
The weird thing is we're the generation that grew up with the boom of technology, but so we like we grew up without it, but then we had it.
Right.
Well, the older millennials.
What's that?
That's where I was questioning the older millennials.
Yeah.
So you guys called yourself millennials just now? And I was always like, am I a millennial? Because a lot of them...
You're borderline millennial, I think.
Yeah, the majority don't actually remember the time before the internet and like it being a new thing. I remember.
No, I don't think that's true.
I remember the first time I was on the internet.
Yeah, I think a lot of
especially with
even
millennials,
like the later ones, grew up with like at least dial-up.
Yeah, 1995.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, no...
How old are you,
remember
Nick?
You just got
AOL.
more immersed
36.
in technology.
You're 36?
I remember getting AOL for the first time.
Yeah.
You're for sure a millennial. You are.
No. That's changed, though. We used to be Gen Y. You, me, and Zach.
But
we
Gen
used to
Y
be called
just
Gen
means
Y.
millennial.
Well,
No, it just means old millennial. Like, I think there's a huge distinguishing between, like, the younger millennials and the older millennials.
What's the line?
Yes.
Like, okay, if you
what's
grew
your
up
line?
with Facebook, I think if you were on like, Facebook, and you never knew a world without Facebook, like, that's a huge line.
Yeah, I think that's
between
Gen Z,
like when
though.
we grew up, and it was
That
like
would
I
definitely be
remember
Gen
getting
Z.
AOL for the first time.
Yeah, that's Gen Z.
That's
though.
not Gen Z.
Like,
Well,
Nicole was
that's
born
just a
in
millennial, I thought.
92, but she remembers
what's
dial-up
the cutoff?
internet and all that stuff.
92?
Yeah.
She would have been like 4 years old. How
Now,
would
hold
she
on.
That's what I'm
remember?
saying. She knows
Now-
dial-up internet. She knows MySpace. She grew up with that stuff, too.
Yeah, so it goes. So
She was just
technically,
younger when it
millennials are classified as 1983 to 1994 and 95.
Yeah. So I was 84, so I'm at just the beginning of millennial.
Right. So you're
Correct.
still classified as that. But the thing I
But
always
just
want to
barely.
remind people
That's
of
what I
too,
feel like I'm barely that. Go
is-
ahead. Sorry.
this is just a marketing term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's all it is. It's
But
the
it's
it's
still
you,
a
you
generation.
took
to it.
18
Yeah.
to 34-year-olds and you gave it a name. That's literally
Yeah.
all it is.
But
It's
it has
also,
some
you were
truth to
born
it.
from
Like,
Generation X or Boomers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You want to differentiate the two.
Yeah.
if you say who would know the word stonk and what it means, you're gonna say boomers have no fucking clue what a stonk is.
I don't think-
they'll be like, "Are you retarded or something?"
I don't think
They
a lot
wouldn't
of
say
Gen
that
Zers
anymore,
would've
but
known that
they'd be
necessarily.
fine. with
That's
it.
just people on
What's
Reddit.
that?
Well,
No, but like
and Twitter.
no boomer would ever know that, right?
Yeah, that's true. There was
Only the
always the
hippest.
stonk meme that
Yeah.
you'd see with the guy with the
I'm
little thing
The
going
mannequin.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mannequin looking guy.
But with that, with the way that millennials are fractured and even understanding ourselves, and what we're classified as a generation, we're the generation that gets to see the tail end of the American empire. Well, boomers grew up during a time, and Gen Xers mainly grew up during a time period when America was number one, baby.
Yeah.
We're the best. We're the best
That's
the
why there's
planet's
so
ever been.
hardcore Trumpers for boomers.
And
'Cause
America
they,
and
they're
all this
so
different
American.
Yeah,
stuff.
because
We're-
we're number one. We're the city on the hill. We're
Yeah.
Yep.
the empire, and it'll never change. It's changing right down, you dumb fucks.
And
we're on the
that-
downtrend.
Yeah,
And
we went to
Gen
school and
Z-
we're like,
They're
Oh,
at
go
that point. I was just gonna say, and where Gen Z is at, they're beyond the city on the hill. They've moved out of the city. They're like, there's nothing left here, man. We got to figure something else out. I'll just say this: millennial for sure, transitional generation. So
I think what the big difference is, since we grew up with the internet, like we eventually had the internet, we started reading things on the internet like, hey, wait, we weren't taught this in school, or we were taught the exact opposite in school. This is kind of weird, right? And Gen
Yeah.
Zers have grown up with that their whole life. While they're being taught in school, they're like, that's not correct. Like, hold
Right.
on.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing. So, like, we're all from Shelby, Ohio, small town,
Yeah.
mostly hillbilly, whatever. Like, if we didn't have the internet and the whole wider culture of the world,
Yeah.
like, what would we have grown up as?
Oh,
Would
Yeah,
we just
we
be a
would
bunch
be
of
more
hillbillies
hillbilly.
too?
Great
Like, eating
question.
skull and, like, yeah, like, just basically
I don't
as
think you're wrong.
ignorant and devoid of knowledge of the world as I think that generation from that area generally is like, dude, that's not the way the world works.
Yeah.
Like, not at all.
well, I
Like,
think
we got to talk to people from Canada or other countries on forums all the time and understand, like, wait, what is it like
Yeah.
living there?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just from a movie you see and it's like, oh, New York City, they got lots of superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Or-
it's a
or-
place where they have different ideas and different.
Talking about expectation and reality when it comes to the States.
Yeah.
yeah.
Big difference, huh?
Because I mean, before all of that, people's expectation, especially like our parents, when they were growing up, their expectation of New York was to go there and get mugged or get murdered. Because that's,
I kind of had the same conception for a while. Like, yeah. Like, I was going to come to San Francisco and, I don't know. I was gonna get raped by a gay guy or something. I don't know.
But and then you got there and you're like, no, I'm
Yeah.
far more accepting. I just have to get on
Yeah.
Grindr. You just hit these guys up. You can just go get a blowjob in Golden Gate
get
Park.
to
You're
Why
fine.
is my
Who-
dick not being sucked? I just landed. What is happening?
No, you know what my conception was before we moved here? I showed Chloe the South Park episode where they were all sniffing their own farts.
Yes.
You know what? To be honest, some of it's a little true.
A little-
There's
well-
a little truth to it, but still, that was like, I don't know. That's all you could like. If you didn't have the internet, that's all there is.
Hey, you just wait up. New York might be there again.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But they're on their way, at least. But even now, they're just like a giant fucking tourist center, and that's because they shipped all the homeless people out on a giant flat ship and pushed them all out into the ocean. Thanks, Giuliani. Thanks for your humanitarian causes.
Well, I think New York City is going to go the way of LA eventually.
Yeah.
Because he's just not
well,
going
I
to be
think
able to
that-
afford to live there for so long.
I've heard that's worse in the sense of like during the pandemic,
Lots of
all the taxpayers are leaving.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
yeah, because it's not safe there anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing to do.
Yeah, why would you live there if you didn't have to be there for a job?
Yeah.
Well, that'll be the next thing that we end up seeing is once you start working at home, you realize, wait, why the fuck do we need an office?
Yep.
Why do we need to do this? But also at the same time, now work has completely interjected itself into your life. Like,
Yeah, that
I
sucks
now
so much.
live where I work at. At least I get to fucking leave. I drive a completely different
Yeah.
vehicle. I have to dress differently. I have to wear a fucking hard hat, reflective vest.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not the same person I am at work as I am here, and I get to relax and come down. But yeah, it's
You can
it's
I
separate
walk
the
from
two.
the bed to the
Separate the
office,
two.
and it's like you just
Yep.
you get out of
I'm
bed, and the
working
first
in
thing
my
on your mind
office
is,
right
oh
now.
shit, I got to deliver that thing, and you walk over, and like it's in, and then it never leaves. That's
Nick, how
Yeah.
often do you
Then
literally
message
just wake up and go
yourself.
right into work now?
Oh, like
a lot of
every
times.
almost every day.
right?
Like I roll out of bed and walk the short distance between my bed and my office.
And you never
I
turn on the
mostly
camera.
shower
Start.
now during work hours. Like, I'll be like, okay, time
Yeah.
for a shower now.
Yeah, it's
I
and then-
almost never
you
shower
smell
before I go
yourself.
to work.
and
Always
it's
during
worse
work
with.
hours. Like, why wouldn't I do it during work hours now?
Do you keep the Ohio culture though, where it stops at 5?
Oh, absolutely. 5? You mean like 5'2"?
Dude, so software engineer is nice in that you don't work as much, but the thing is, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock,
Somebody will ping you.
I get a ping.
I think that's
And
a tech,
You might have to
thing.
go.
right?
Like no matter what time of day, if I'm awake, and there are times during periods where I'm on what's called pager duty, right? And like
Sounds awful.
3 in the morning, my phone will go off with a beep, beep, beep. You
Oh,
gotta
that was
fucking go.
annoying.
Can you not silence it, or you're on?
No,
pager duty,
you're
so
on you're on
expected to?
emergency alert. Like
Oh,
this is like
God.
you're a doctor and somebody is dying. This is somebody can't. I won't say the company I work for. Somebody can't use their Zoom competitor.
God.
So you gotta go and you gotta like solve it, even if it's 3 a.m. and you can barely like open your eyes.
You're the vanilla ice of the Zoom competitor world. If there's a problem, you'll
Yeah.
solve it.
And it's,
Check out the beat while the DJ revolves it.
But that's it. It's
Yeah.
round the clock. Something might happen, so you're always a little on edge. That like I swear, this is a minor panic attack when you hear your phone go bing. You're like,
Oh.
Yeah,
don't be
exactly.
something that sucks
Oh, yeah.
4 hours out of my life.
I think that's why mental health has gone down. It's not because everyone's working from home. It's because everyone's working from home and basically can't do anything else to like
Yeah.
get away from the house.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. There's no escape.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's
There's
just
no
like
escape.
you're stuck in your house no matter basically what you want to do.
I will
Like,
say this:
going
if
to
you
the
guys
grocery
want to
store, like,
trade,
I've escaped.
I will trade with either one of you if you guys want to go try to come and do my job.
I don't think I want to work in my back. I got the carpal tunnel.
I think no matter what,
I don't need back problems on top of
it's a
it.
different kind of it sucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's soul
okay,
sucking.
now take all that time. I get it. You roll out of bed. You're constantly inundated by work traffic, It's constantly flowing into your house.
Yeah.
There's no separation of work-life balance. But now I want you to start going into work at 11 o'clock at night. It's cold all the time. You have to run through. You're constantly covered in dust and mud. You have to climb up several flights of stairs to check everything, banging any other part of your body on metal structures, reaching into
I think I'll pass.
equipment you hope is locked out properly so it doesn't start running on you. And then your easy job that you have, it's like sitting on my piece of equipment that I'm in is like constantly sitting on an exercise ball the entire time. I'm doing this all the time. I'm just constantly moving around. And then I'll be called over. Okay, well, now you have to shovel up like a ton of product that fell on the ground. We have to get that out of here so we can also put new shit on the ground instead. And then now you get off work at 7 o'clock in the morning. And now you sleep like a crazy person.
The third shift part of it's
It
probably one of the worst.
sounds terrible. But the thing is, there's still... For us, though, you've seen the movie Office Space, right?
Yeah.
And there's still that fantasy of his end, right?
Oh, right, where
he
he's a
goes into the
construction
construction
worker, right?
job.
Yeah.
And it's not just the always on. It's the bullshit, the soul sucking part of a corporation. At the end of the day, you make a thing, you do something, and then there's an end product.
That is true.
Yeah, like I go to meetings. I have whole months where I'm not sure I even accomplished anything. I just went to meetings and talked, and like your mind has it's like you're doing homework 24 hours a day.
God, that's such a good
and then at the end they just burn the fucking homework. You know, it's like there's no end. It's soul sucking. Like in the end of Office Space, it seems like he has that sense of completion and that happiness, and he's outdoors. He has that. But I do know, like, I've worked a manual job, and I know it's a fantasy. Like, I know, like, I don't actually want it. Like, I know I kind of want the sense of accomplishment and all that, but I'd rather just have my soul eaten bit by bit for the next 10 years until I have none left.
I will say this.
We have to have these creative outlets.
Right, exactly. I will say this, without my job, the rest of the plant doesn't get the material. So literally what I do is I take all the rock that comes down from the quarry and I put it in a hopper. I feed the mill the entire time. That is my job. Without my job, the rest of the entire plant wouldn't work. So yeah, you are right. I do at least get to have a sense of completion and actually seeing my work realized the entire time. But it's also just a bunch of bullshit, man.
The two things you guys are missing that I have to deal with is customers.
See, I'd like to meet customers and know what they're even doing. There's so many layers between me and the customer.
Yeah.
Like, I ping a guy that knows a guy that knows the guy that talked to the actual customer down the line.
Yeah, no, I have to call customers. Like, half of my job, I'd say actually more like 75%, is being on the phone with the customer. Like, talking with them. What happened in the accident? Let's fix your car. Stuff like that. No, and
you want
people are in accidents aren't very happy.
Customer, not an individual customer.
No.
Yeah.
No, they are not. I will say this, after starting to work for that Japanese-based business and finally starting to learn, and your customers are other companies. They're you get to talk to the CEO and sit down, and the CFO and sit down with them and understand their pricing structure, how they want to take in this piece of equipment and everything. And it's and then afterwards you're like, hey, let's all go to dinner. Let's all grab a drink together. And that's kind of the way it works. I'm like, holy fuck, I never, ever, ever want to go back to being in a single line of business like that, where you're one-on-one with the normal
where the customer can request your supervisor or manager type.
Yeah. And meanwhile,
you got to deal with the Karens.
the one I'm with is it's like, oh, you want to talk to my boss? Well, here he is, right here. He's right next to me while we're running this deal.
We're talking with him right now.
Yeah. I was actually, when I ended up moving back from Los Angeles, I told myself, I'm never going back to retail. I will do anything else to try to get out of it. And eventually I ended up working at a glass installation place. Like Glass Doctor is the name of it. And
like
so
for cars?
Oh,
yeah, for cars and for homes.
Yeah, I have a friend that does that actually.
Yeah, but I was in the office part, so I was basically doing what you were doing, but I had worked a shitload of retail jobs before that, so even that was a step up from what I was doing before, like AT&T,
trust me, this
Staples.
is a step up from any kind of customer service, like working in the stores that I worked at and having to deal with those customers.
Yeah.
The face-to-face interaction. At least I'm not face-to-face with them. That's the step up.
That's a huge step up. Yeah, you never have to meet them.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, if it weren't for the customers, the jobs would be great.
Anyways, we need to strike so we don't have to work at all, right? That was our conclusion?
We need to boost the minimum wage up to a point where it's basically a UBI.
They need to pay me to browse porn all the time.
Governor of New York City.
Yes.
Or mayor.
Oh yeah.
Cuomo?
Is it mayor or
Yang?
governor?
No, Yang. Andrew Yang.
Oh,
mayor.
Yang. Oh,
He's
Yang.
Going for
Oh,
mayor
yeah.
of New York City.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which one.
He's
I first
not
said that.
facing a tough competition.
But this doesn't make so his UBI plan. I don't understand how it ever makes sense to do in a small locality. Like we're gonna give everyone in New York City $2,000 a month. Fucking, how many people are gonna move to New York City and just claim an address?
I mean, it's a way to test it, I guess.
Yeah.
How else are you going to test it? You can't be like, well, let's test it nationally.
I was going to say, I'd want you to test it in a smaller area first before that. Like, try it out. Not in a major city either. Like give me a sample
I would say
size.
New York City's probably not the right one, but...
yeah. Or, like, any major city below...
But... If he does start this, are you either
people.
of you considering moving to New York City and just collecting $2,000 a month?
I've honestly been thinking about moving to New York. I watched the Martin Scorsese Fran Lebowitz documentary, and I'm like, that does sound like my kind of town.
And $2,000 a month is gonna influence you to go.
Well, if you're gonna pay me money to live anywhere, I'll fucking move there.
That means you can go and tell your boss to go fuck himself, and then you can go get $2,000 a month.
But does New York City suddenly charge like $1,500 extra for rent?
Well, Well, here's the other thing about that. So I think that goes along with the minimum wage as well. Mm-hmm. Is that's not all that makes up the price of increasing real estate. So obviously,
that's different from minimum wage because UBI is guaranteed everybody in the city makes that income. It's
well, how about this?
Wage
then don't go to those places. I mean, obviously, in a place like New York, you have hundreds of different real estate offices and everything. But if one of them starts scamming the system, stop going to them. Run them out of business.
Here's why I'm super for Yang doing this. All the homeless people will leave California. They will all go to New York City, and they will get $2,000 a month for drugs.
They just have to figure out a way how to get there.
It's a Save California plan. Yang's UBI is a Save California plan.
So I am all against people bucking the system. Fuck the system. Work against it. Work it for yourself any way that you can. That's why the whole welfare moms and all this different bullshit. Fuck that negative ass bullshit. Make your money any way you can. Hustle, hustle, hustle. That mindset should go away if you have an influx of money. You see the stories of people who were barely making anything before, and just a small influx of boosting the unemployment was enough to be able to make them live like normal people for a fucking change. And you're like, wow, there really is something wrong with the way that we pay our people and the way the middle class doesn't even exist anymore at this point. If you are just that small amount of money is enough for them to be like, wow, holy shit, I could pay off all my bills this month. Is this what normal people feel like all the time? And then they're like, oh, well, just go get a better job. Okay, well, how do I do that? I got to save up money. I can't do that because I constantly have to pay the bills. It's expensive being poor, man. You can't. It's hard to get out.
Become a doctor.
There is a poor tax for sure.
Yeah, and so I'm like, if you can get a UBI to everybody, obviously they have to have an address there. You're not just going to see Yang going out on the street go, oh, right, make sure you endorse the back of that check. Just take this over
Are you
to...
sure he's not going to put $2,000 in every little cup that a homeless guy's just shaking?
Oh, yeah.
That's it? You just go...
Well, you can
who's
going to
be
to like unemployment offices or somewhere and get your UBI check if you don't have a house.
But you do need to have... you need an address. You need
so then
to
the
prove
homeless
that you
aren't
live
cut
in that
out.
state.
What about the homeless that have been there for years? Do they get it?
I don't think so. What would be
That's
nice?
so like okay, so wait.
Have an address they
Yeah.
use, though.
So your plan is basically just like California. There's the divide between the rich and the really poor. It's like, well, let's make more of a divide before the slightly rich and the really poor. Let's push them further away. Let's give the slightly rich a lot of money. Not rich, but middle class. But the poor, fuck them.
Oh well, yeah, that's the problem already, right? Is you don't actually. That's the reason why people end up becoming and going into homelessness out here, is that they don't have anywhere to go. They don't have anything to pay for them to be able to live anywhere to actually make any of the benefits. So they just say, fuck it, let's live out on the street. Let's live out in the woods somewhere. Who cares? Nobody gives a shit about me. I guess it's really all on my own right now. Now, if you were able to give these people a place to live, then yeah, you would be able to actually set up benefits for them. They'd actually be able to put in applications for places to work and make their own money. But right now, they don't have any place to go. You can't just put, oh, I live at 101 middle of the forest off of Route 104 and be like,
my cardboard box has been standing for years.
like literally. I live under the 405.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of fractured problems right now that you would need to establish ahead of time. And that's why you can't have incremental change. You really need to pump this shit forward immediately, because what happens, it gets to 2025. Well, now the fucking minimum wage should be $25 an hour, if that. Like, what do you just keep people in the poorhouse forever?
I think that's kind of their goal.
That's the plan.
For what? For what point?
The point is the same reason. Like in the 1700s, they'd go to Africa and capture people and then bring them back to keep them working to enrich themselves. Yeah. It kind of works pretty well, actually.
Right. So you basically like slave wage.
Yeah. What do you think
wages.
college debt is for?
Now.
Yeah, college debt is just another form of it. Like that's what that's for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's that was the whole thing that Marx talked about, and then John Brown talked about a little bit once before he did the Harper's Ferry raid. I think ever since he was something like 10 years old, he had always been against slavery. Do you guys know who John Brown is?
No.
Never hear of the John Brown riots and the fights between Missourians, bloody Kansas era?
Okay. I was going to say Harper's Ferry sounded familiar.
Harper's Ferry's.
Like the fighting over the vote for Lincoln eventually?
Yeah,
like Missouri was going to become a slave state or not. All this crazy shit going on then.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. That was kind of the thing that he ended up seeing, is that, 1850s was kind of that whole time when the working class revolution kind of took off, and people started becoming fucking anarchists and shit like that. But even, John Brown noticed in the 1850s that basically the same way capitalism ends up keeping you in this huge rut over and over and over again, and the people who own the capital want to keep you down in the best way so that you can't take it over. And I mean, nothing's really fucking changed. We got rid of slavery, but then we put a clause in the amendment in the Constitution basically saying, unless you go to prison, and then for sure you can still be a slave to the state. But other than that, just normally, you can't have slaves.
But normally.
Also, we're
going
going
to
to
privatize prisons so we can keep a lot of prisoners.
Also, we're never going to raise the minimum wage again, so that if you do realize your job sucks, you can't move on, and you're still stuck doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. And you can't strike against us, because then you know that you would be homeless. And man, we really hate the homeless in this country, don't we? We really hate fucking poor people. So don't ever become poor. Just become working poor.
But we do have a solution to all this now. Gamestonk.
Gamestonks.
Bye. We solved it in 2021.
Hold, baby. Hold.
The homeless just have to buy Gamestonk. It's all solved. We don't need Yang. We got Gamestonk.
That's right, baby. We don't need Yang. We don't need anybody. We got ourselves. So, what do we figure out on this episode?
We need our stonks.
We need our stonks and general strike.
All the world's problems somehow.
And you're only a hooker once you're dead.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, gentlemen,
I think that's a good time to end.
that's a great time to end on that, I'd say.
All right, good podcast. Nice meeting you, Brandon.
Very nice meeting you, Nick. That was a good talk, I'd say.
Thanks for coming on the podcast.
I say we talked good.
Yes, very good. And we read good too, but not on this podcast.
Well, Nick, we knocked around. Nick, I'd love to have you on the show sometime soon as well.
Definitely. Yeah.